Testing. Testing, motherfuckers. Testing. Testing, motherfuckers. Testing. Can you bitches hear me? Can you hoes hear me? Can you hoes hear me? All right. You can hear me now. So we had a great debate yesterday with the homies and shit like that. Talking about and we had the homies on. Um, we had censored. We had my homie Eshan. We had Savage, Cowboys Corner, and we had, who else we had yesterday? Fifth quarter. Um, who else we had? We had let me see what else we had. We had fifth. We had uncensored. Who else? We had Sports Junkie and a couple more homies. We was talking about the time on. Let me see. Let me see. We're gonna drop the link. We're gonna we're gonna drop it in right. Hopefully you can hear me. So yeah, we just hit to put the link in. And so we're gonna be on long today. We just want to highlight some things that we saw that I went over to some Dak Prescott film today. Um, Dak looked pretty decent, but we did have Cowboys corner. He said Dak Prescott was not that good if he had to throw the ball. So Cowboys corner made a point, and he said that if you limit his snaps down of throwing the ball, then I think that he could probably do better. But I think that um, okay, what I'm referring to is, hopefully you can hear me. I can hear myself over here. But what I'm saying is, even if you limit his snaps down, but can you get rid of the boneheaded plays? And I had an argument with Connor yesterday, and I said that what kind of offense will Shot be running? They probably gonna roll with three running backs. Somebody ain't gonna make it. Whoever ain't gonna make it on running back team could go to special teams. So they're gearing themselves up for injuries and things like that, which is understandable. Um, but it is what it is. Um, Uncensored. You can't hear me. No volume. Volume all the way up. The volume's all the way up. So I don't see what the problem is. So anyway, um, I I do see what Cowboys corner was saying. If you limit the snaps to Dak Prescott, not throwing the ball, I would say 75% of the time, get the ball out of his hands. That's a good resolution. But the problem is, nah, we can hear you. Yeah, thanks, Ishan. Um, I put the link in. Come on in. And it's the boneheaded plays. It's the boneheaded play. Can you get away from the boneheaded plays? You know, I did go back and look at a film today with Cooper BB in the middle. I'm hoping that BB played. Did he play guard or center in the college? Because his lower body strength is not that good. But hopefully he can fix that problem for camp and things like that. But they've given Dak Prescott a pretty good defense. I looked over defense. They gave him two linebackers. I ain't gonna talk shit up. The defense. They got some tackles. They're gonna come in there. They go get the tackle game together. They got three defensive tackles. They may add another veteran in there. They have to run support. They got Sam Williams coming back. They got Nealon. They got Parsons. They got the new edge rusher they got. They got the big boy out of Torah, called Notori, big man from UCLA. They got the big guy from Maryland, and so they are going to be stout in the middle. So that's gonna be the problem. Like that's gonna be the good. That's gonna be good. Um, I am worried about Hooker on the back end. He's up in age. They got children. They brought children in to come in and to challenge Hooker to get Hooker up out of here because he's slow to getting over the top, and he's slow coming up in run support. So hopefully children can come up in there and help unseat Hooker, but Hooker's just for the paycheck. So um, what else we looking forward to? I do see the corner for Buffalo. He's a pretty good corner. Hopefully he can come in and help. Hopefully I ain't gonna say Diggs might make it back. I see him rehabbing. He trying to get strength in his knee. He won't be back until later. He'll probably be in the season on pop. Eshawn popped on in. There he is.
What's happening, man?
What's going on, family?
I'm doing okay, man. What's happening with you, man?
You can hear me pretty good. That's good then.
Yeah.
Okay, then I see everybody acting foolish on the side. That's cool. I like the energy. What do you think about Diggs? How do you think he gonna make it back this year? No.
Diggs, I mean, I think he'll play this year. I don't know how good he's going to be based off of that injury. Last year, he took a big nosedive. So, I mean, who knows? I mean, maybe he's still injured, but I was very disappointed in how he played last year. I'll just put it that way. So, like,
Yeah.
I think, I mean, they're going to ride his contract out and then pay Bland is what I think, but who knows? So,
Yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah, now Uncensored's trolling me this much.
Uh-oh. That's normal.
Oh, man. It's all good.
So I do think I do think Diggs, he's not very physical, he cover corner, but if he has to tackle, he'll come up and tackle. But I think him coming back off that injury, he's going to be kind of spooked because I don't want to get re-injured again. And that pain is, it hurt a lot, but he don't try to work his way through it. I don't know. I think he should come back later on in the season. What do you think?
I mean, he's going to probably play for the whole season. I mean, last year, I think he was affected by the injury, but he's never been a tackler to begin with, even from the jump when he was healthy. So I mean, I don't see that part of his game changing necessarily, but he took such a nosedive last year that I mean, I don't know if he's. I think he'll play the full season. I mean, who knows? But I have to see something from him at this point to like really get my confidence back in him, I guess. Even Bland for that matter. Like I like Deron Bland quite a bit, but like even I'm afraid for him, man, because his injuries and then I mean his lack of play also was a big factor for me as well. So this is a complete the corners I have to see a lot from them. That's where I am.
Right. What do you think about the show last night? Did you have fun with the show or what?
Well, I always have fun with the shows, man. It's just
okay. What do you think about Cowboys corner said that Dak he was on the show with Sports Junkie
Yeah.
and then he early in the year he was saying that Dak was garbage, and he wanted to give Trey Lance a shot because he's tired of Dak Prescott. But now his defense is okay. Dak is limited snaps. He could be a good quarterback.
No.
And
He doesn't believe that Dak is going to be a good quarterback. He's just that dude trolls like a motherfucker.
yeah,
No. He doesn't. He's been saying for years that Dak is even before 50, even before 80, before myself. He was the first one to say that Dak was in it. So like I would be surprised, man, if he, all of a sudden out of the blue he's like Dak's going to win as a championship. Nah, that dude trolls like that.
My sister said that we got to stop trashing Dak Prescott, and that we need to accept him as our quarterback for the next 2 years.
Even he's trolling, man.
And he's a good quarterback. How you feel about that?
Yeah, even he's trolling, man.
Yeah, I see. I see. But we do have good discussions. Everybody is equal to their opinion. I respect that. I understand that. But what is the reality to you about Dak Prescott?
How do I feel about Dak Prescott? It's like
what's your reality? Yeah.
Yeah, the reality is he's 2-5 in the playoffs. He has not gotten it done. I don't believe he ever will get it done. Where this is about to be his 10th season, and they're trying to do everything in their power to make his life easier. So, like I'm with you on. I've always been with you on Dak. I just like to add nuance to the discussion. All I ever said was based off of the way the Cowboys are treating Lance or treating Rush or whoever. And given the fact that I don't believe they paid him this time for football reasons. And I've said that before. I believe they paid him because of jersey sales. Because he won one playoff game when he got paid the first big bag. So I don't see any football reason for why they would pay him that much of capital again. I don't see it. So we have to think about the way that they think it. They think, not us as fans, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So from
that investment is what you're saying?
What happened?
Oh, you're saying give back the investment, jersey sales, ticket sales, alcohol sales. If you pay him $250 million, you know he's not going to get you the Super Bowl. You want to try to get jersey sales, and
that's the way that Jerry and Steven think about it. Everything is driven by money for them. That's the way it's always been, right? So I just man. He's not it. He's not going to get it done. But we're stuck with the motherfucker. We can't cut him until 27 because otherwise it's going to be like 100 million dead money. So like we're unfortunately stuck with the fucking guy. That's just what the reality of the matter is. Fucking sucks. But what are we going to do about it?
and you're limited signing your rookies, and then they may not vent into the salary cap, but bringing on some more talent. And just are they managed budgeting the salary cap now because of the contract?
Say again.
The Dak Pass contract. Are they budgeting the salary cap now because of his contract now?
I don't think so, to be honest. I mean, they're saying they're restructuring it, but I don't. The players that they're restructuring it with, who are these players? Let's be honest. And so I don't think they're approaching it in a smart way. Who knows? They may be wrong, but I may be wrong on that front of things. But I don't think that they're restructuring it in the proper way.
Right. So how do you feel about this team now? I mean, what are you looking for in training camp? What are you looking for? How do you feel?
I mean, look, I'll be honest, anything with this team in general, I'm at a point as a fan where I'm past off-season hype. I'm past training camp hype. I really am at a point where I have to see it on the field in the season to believe it consistently. You know what I mean? That's where I'm at with any aspect. So I liked the move to get George Pickens. I didn't love it. I liked it. I like some of the picks we got in the draft. I didn't mind the offense attack. What's his face? The offensive lineman that we got in the first round. So I'm at a point like we've for years we've said, oh, I like this guy, I don't like this guy, whatever, and we've been wrong, we've been right. I mean, it's been a fluctuation, but I'm past getting a hype about training camp. I'm past getting hype about the draft, the offseason, any of that shit. I'm just like, okay, we got these players. What are they going to do on the field consistently throughout the season? So that's where I'm at just in general. As far as I don't really have any expectations for this season. Just
how do you feel about Pickens helping out Dak Prescott?
I mean, he will help him out. Last year it was just CD. Last year we had one playmaker in CD, and that was it, right? So from that standpoint, he's going to help Dak. Now that's just in the season. Postseason's a different beast. That's not going to. I don't think Dak is going to win a postseason game this year. But in the regular season itself, Dak has won regular season games. So we can say what we want about that, but that's just the truth of the matter. So in that standpoint, he'll help him from a numbers standpoint. Past that won't happen, I don't think. But he'll put up better numbers probably. I wouldn't be surprised. But some cats are acting like we're going to make a Super Bowl. That won't happen. I don't think. I'd be surprised.
You think they'll run the ball more? That's what the lie's been told. That's what's been told. We don't know if it's a lie or if it's true.
I said it yesterday that I don't. I mean, it may end up happening. Schottenheimer again. This season with Schottenheimer is a complete blank slate. He could be telling the truth. He could be blowing smoke up our ass. We don't know on either side. So I'm at a point where it's like, will they run the ball? I have to see it to believe it. McCarthy said he would run the ball. He basically didn't. He didn't do it. So he basically lied in their face saying that he didn't do it. So and also we got to keep in mind the way the Cowboys treat Dak. That's what I was also saying yesterday. It's like the history of the Cowboy organization over the past 4 or 5 years. They've treated Dak like he's elite because he's throwing in a Packer playoff game. He threw 60 passes and he's not that kind of a quarterback realistically. But for a quarterback to throw 60 attempts in a game tells me that they think he's elite. So 10 years in, all of a sudden, I don't think they're going to change.
Right.
To where, like, all of a sudden, why this year? Why not last year or the year before? So, that's kind of where I was at. But who knows? I mean, they may end up running the ball. Who knows?
Let me ask you this. So you bet on Pickens. So who's out the pasture? I mean, what? You got Tolbert, you got Mingo, you got Lamb, you got Turpin, you got Ferguson, you got Schoolmaker. So you got Brooks. So who do you cut?
I mean, probably I would say probably Tolbert. I think he's horrible.
What?
I mean, who would you cut, man? I don't even up that list. Brooks probably. Why? I wouldn't mind getting him. I mean, yeah. I mean, because who else would you cut, man? I mean, Turpin's also there. I like Turpin. So, I mean, Turpin would I'm assuming he would be our number 3. That's what I'm guessing. So in your eyes, that's how we did was kick field goals last year, right? I mean, how can you fix the offense to score points? Is that going to be the problem going into the season again? I mean, it may be. Who knows? That's the thing. I mean, because we got Pickens and there's a second wide receiver threat, I don't think it's going to be as bad as it was last year. Now, I'm not saying we're going to be top 1 or top 2 in the league. I think that's a stretch. But I don't think we're going to be putting up I don't think we're going to be Nuggets in a game. I don't know. I don't think so. My concern is with our defense stopping the run.
Right.
So I think that's really where my biggest worry is, and that's why I don't think we're a playoff team. This smells like the 2020 season to me, where we just jacked up a bunch of points in garbage time, and the defense can't stop a nosebleed. So that's what it smells like.
So let me switch over to that side of the ball. So how do you feel about the front, the D line? I mean, are you?
That's my biggest worry, the defensive line.
Okay, why?
Well, because the size of those guys, I don't see us being able to stop the run. Who's going to clog up the middle? Mozzie? Shit.
What about the 320 tackle they got?
No, I mean, but one player can't completely just shut down the run. We have to, So it's okay. We got one player, and we know Micah's not a run stopper. He is more of a pass rusher. That's his strength. So that's that. Osa is an okay player. So I mean, the defensive line is what's really my biggest worry. That's where I'm like, I don't. I think we're gonna still have a problem stopping the run. Now, who knows? Eberflus may coach them up, scheme them up. That
Yeah,
may end up happening, but just on paper, I think it's a problem for me. That's where I am.
yeah. Oh, so you got to see it to believe it if they can stop the
Yeah,
run.
exactly.
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
where I am with anything: offense, defense, everything.
yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Nah, man. This whole season is gonna be. This is the most uncertain. I've even more than last year. I was uncertain about last year to an extent. I said last year that we could win 12, we could win 2. I had no idea which way it was going to go. I feel even stronger about that this year since we have a whole new regime on the coaching staff. So
How do you? How far are you from Cowboys training camp?
from Oxnard, I have no idea. I haven't been to Oxnard. I live in what is it? It's a city in LA called Burbank. So it probably I don't know
Oh,
hour.
since the jump
I
in.
have no idea. I don't even know where Oxnard is in LA. I haven't been there.
Drum back in since area. He come and talk a little shit. Let's see what he got to say. What's
Uh,
going on, Bubba?
what's happening with you, man?
Y'all better watch your mouth when y'all talk about my fucking quarterback.
Ah,
Come on, man.
Watch your mouth. Put
No,
some
man.
respect on his name. That is your MVP runner-up.
Shit.
Put
okay.
some respect on his name, man.
I've been speaking with you too long uncensored to know you're
Dak
bullshitting,
Prescott,
man.
Dak Prescott
Uh,
gonna throw about 45 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Gonna do 4,700 passing yards.
No,
what did
yeah.
you put?
He's
Let's
gonna
see
get
what he
about
put.
he's gonna get about 300 yards rushing, and we going to the Super Bowl, man.
Man.
Wait a minute. Wait, this a new? Who is this guy talking to? Like what the hell are you talking about? Like,
You
are
know,
you really?
what I've done is, and people don't know this, I've been sitting back the last couple of weeks, man. I've been going over this team and breaking everything down. And I've been wrong. I've allowed y'all to cloud my mind. I've
Oh,
allowed you guys
What
to
the?
sway my original opinions to where I don't even recognize myself anymore.
Are you serious? Are you
So
bullshitting?
no, man, 100% serious, man.
no, you're not.
It's just like
You bullshit. Fucking bullshit.
everybody jumping down Jerry Jones' throat. But Jerry Jones got a lot of talent, man, in this on this team. Jerry Jones, how many Pro Bowlers we had over the years, man? Jerry
Oh,
Jones is an excellent GM, man. The amount of Pro Bowlers he bring in, all pros. Dak Prescott was struggling. What would he do? He went out and got him a number one wide receiver. Dak Prescott struggling again. What he gonna do? He gonna get him another one number one wide receiver. They wanted running backs. He go get him a running back.
two
Man.
I
running
mean
backs.
that's the job of a GM, right? Get your quarterback what he need.
Are you
Man.
serious right now? Like, ah, you
He needed.
bullshitting.
Hey,
I
look,
know
look,
he bullshitting. He's
look. Jason Garrett
he
couldn't get it done, right? So what he gonna
you
do?
right.
He went and got him a Super Bowl winning head coach.
Who?
Got him 3 consecutive 12-5 seasons, man. Dak Prescott go to the playoffs more than he don't. Put some respect on that man's name, man.
Man, sit down, man.
I am sitting.
You bullshit. I know you bullshit, man.
I'm in my rocking chair.
Man.
You joking, right? Like for real, like
Man, y'all gonna see it. Hey, I'm right about everything, man. Y'all gonna see.
Yeah, I'm sure you
so,
are.
Yeah,
so
ask my wife. She tell me I'm right all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Come on, man.
I couldn't hold that last one in.
good joke. It's good shit, good joke, man. I like the way you
I
come
don't know
around.
any wife who tells their husband that they're right all the time.
I had OG over there rethinking everything he ever thought.
I was like, what the hell?
Ah,
Okay.
this is funny. I love it.
Nah, but you're stuck with Dak Prescott for 2 years, so you ride or die with Dak Prescott. I mean,
Unfortunately, that's
they're
what it
not
is.
going to change it. So all you got to do is hope that they bring somebody in that can develop behind Dak Prescott. So in 2027, you can get rid of his ass and start to turn this franchise around.
Yeah.
Right.
No, yeah. We're
Yeah,
stuck with him until 27, man. That's
and
just too much of a dead cap otherwise.
the sad part is you're going to suck this year. You're probably going to win 7 games. You're probably going to be in the low teams, drafted
Right.
again, and then you got one more year with Dak, and he's probably going to win a decent amount of games. because they're going to start. They're drafting talent to replace this old. The Dallas Cowboys got old. The players got lazy. They got complacent.
Yep.
Yeah.
They don't like each other. And with Shoddy switching the locker room around, there's a reason why. Because they were all segregated. The defensive backs were with the defensive backs. The defense was separate from the offense. They didn't talk to each other. They had nothing going on, no camaraderie. Think about it. Anytime you saw the Cowboys doing anything, you never saw an offensive player and a defensive player together. When Odell Beckham Jr. was getting paraded around here like a fucking prima donna, that was Diggs and Parsons. He's an offensive player. You would think that somebody from the offense would be included in that, like, yo, man, let me talk to you about our offense and how we can put you in the offense and stuff like that. You got the fucking defensive players begging an offensive player to come onto the team. So the mixing up of the locker room, he knows that. Shotty has seen what's going on with this team.
What about the jersey swapping?
The what?
Is that going to continue? The jersey swapping.
That ain't going to stop. They do that shit in every single league now.
It's in every league.
Free agency ruined the old school football that we knew. Because these players are on opposite teams this year, but they'll be playing next to each other in 2 years.
Yeah.
So
all of these guys that have been
people are getting traded amongst in division. That shit was never heard of. Like you got Cooper Kupp went to the Seahawks. He went from the Rams to the Seahawks. That shit would have never fucking happened.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So all of these players have been playing with each other since they was kids and stuff. So like
they lose and go party and hang out with each other. And then, hey man, I know we beat y'all, man. Come up before you leave. Come stop by the house, say hi to the wife. Yeah. Let's get the kids together during the off season. They all in Cancun together, Hawaii or whatever. It's different. They don't mind losing because the bags are so. If they mix salaries and associated them, if you win, you get a 10% bonus. If you lose, you give up 10%. That shit would change their mentality. But your check is guaranteed for these dudes.
Yep.
Yeah. Not about winning no more. It's about that.
They show up at that stadium, and that fucking whistle blow. They can take one snap or they can play all the snaps. That check is the same size. They can score 10 touchdowns. They can score 1 touchdown. That check is the same size.
Yep. No, the jersey swapping is not going to stop. That's around the NFL. That's around pretty much every league.
That's everywhere. I saw baseball players doing it.
Exactly. So like that's not going to stop anytime soon.
So let me ask
you with Parsons having Darius Slay jersey behind him, I'm like, but they friends.
That rubbed me the wrong way when I first saw that.
Yeah, as a fan, but they're friends. He don't give a fuck. They're friends.
Yeah.
Micah Parsons don't play. Micah Parsons is never going to be on the same field at the same time as Darius Slay. So it's fucking pointless to be upset with it. If he was sitting up there having Antonio Brown and shit like that, some dude that just cooked his ass on the field 2 weeks before, it's different.
Right.
He don't play against Darius Slay.
Right. No, for sure. I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Let me ask you this question: how y'all feel about the schedule?
It's a tough schedule, man.
It's one of the worst schedules we had in a while.
I mean, if you're looking at our
last year,
what'd you say?
Is it worse than last year?
100% is worse than last year. It's a lot tougher schedule than last year.
Isha, pull that schedule up, please, one more time.
I got you. Just give me 1 second.
Okay. I think the majority of our schedule all made the playoff last year.
Yeah. So with the except, I won't obviously name. We got the NFC East, of course. So I'm going to exclude the 3 teams of the East. So at home, we got the Packers. They always whoop our ass. We got the Chiefs. They always whoop our ass. We're not winning.
That's 2 losses. Okay.
The Chargers, I think, is a toss-up. We can win that.
That's one. Hold on. That's what I was gonna say. So the Chargers was a playoff team last year, right?
Yeah.
Now don't Dak Prescott have trouble 500 teams? Anybody that makes the playoffs?
Yeah, he does. Yes, he does. He does. But also the Chargers have a lot of the same flaws that we also have too. So I can see
they lost quite a bit of players on defense. Nick Bosa's gone.
But the problem is, can we score though against the Chargers?
I think so.
I mean, we probably will be able to. Who knows? That's I'm like this about that one. We got the Vikings. We got the Vikings, which is a toss up for me as well.
That's what I was going to say. So the Vikings. So what about that one? So you got a rookie quarterback coming in. They got a pretty good defense. So do we trust the rookie quarterback to beat Dak Prescott? How do you feel about that?
I mean, it depends on the way. I think at that point, again, it depends on when we play them. But I think it'll determine for me of how we look heading up to that game, and honestly, games for that matter.
Question: is that a playoff team? Was did Vikings make the playoffs?
I think so. I mean, they made the playoffs last year with Sam Darnold.
That's another loss that's 0-4. That can't be 500 teams. Got to remember that shit.
So then we got the Cardinals, which we always root for the Cardinals. It's for some reason or another we always root for the Cardinals. So that's at home, excluding the East.
That's 1-4. Okay.
So now away we got Chicago. I think that's a win because Chicago's terrible.
Okay, 2-4.
Broncos in Mile High, we're gonna get beaten, I think, because that's a tough place to play.
2-5. Okay.
All right, now we got the Lions. I think that's gonna be tough in Detroit.
So that's 2-6. So Dallas can Dak Prescott beat another team that got blown out last year? But last year he got blown out 40 something to 10 last year.
27-9, I think it was.
Yeah, he went to the bench and brought Cooper Rush in. Yeah, that was 40. Yeah.
And then we got the Raiders, we got the Jets, and we got the
3-7. That's 3-7, right? You could probably beat the Raiders, maybe. That's 3-7.
I think we'll beat the Raiders.
The Raiders got Geno and a hell of a running back. I don't know.
Raiders is. I mean,
I'm out here in Las Vegas, man. There's hype around this team right now. I mean, it's all paper. But I mean, hell, Derek Carr threw for 400 yards on us last time he fucking played us in a Raiders jersey.
That's right. Yeah. When he was with the Saints last year, yeah. Then we got the Jets. I think the Jets is a win.
So it's 4-7.
Yeah. Then we got the Panthers, which I think is going to be a win as well.
5-7.
So that's a pretty tough schedule, man. We got the Broncos. I mean,
did you do everybody at 5-7? I'm off on my numbers.
You left off the NFC East.
You left off the NFC East. So we got the Giants, the Eagles, and the Commanders. So that's twice a year, obviously, right? So for me, I could see 8.
Is that 7-9?
Yeah, ish. Something like that.
We talked about that. Yeah.
Like you
know, there's a possibility where we only win one game in the NFC East.
That is a true possibility. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
We can lose both games to the Commanders and split with the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
With Russell Wilson coming on. Also, I texted this morning to Censor and everybody else that they got Dart. So if it don't work out with Russell Wilson in the long run, Dart could come in and finish off the season. That could be in trouble.
In general, I'm not worried about Russell Wilson, but even so, I think he's better than Dak. So
I'm not worried about Dart either.
You still think that Russell is better than Dak after all this time?
Yeah,
I think it's a toss-up for me at least.
Yeah. Russell got a Super Bowl ring. Okay, I need to be accepted. Yeah,
but at the same time, I mean, he's aged quite a bit, so you never know. So.
Right. Jackson Dart got some learning to do. He was not that good. He's not starter ready coming out of college. He needs some. He's got to learn for a while. That's why they brought Russell in, so that whatever player, because the quarterback class sucked this year.
Yeah, it was.
So all these teams understood. This is why the Browns did what they did. This is why Pittsburgh did what they did. They understood that this draft class of quarterbacks was not starter ready. So you had to get veterans in and put all these rookies behind the vets to see if we could develop.
Yeah.
But there was one thing that you did point out in your comment, Censor, that you said that Jerry Jones and Will McClay, they could only do so much by getting him the player to help him succeed. Now, Jerry can only do so much. You know, you know what? Jerry has took it in himself and said, okay, I may be a shithole owner. I fucked up on the contract. But, Dak Prescott, he's our quarterback. I am trying to get him some weapons. I know I fucked up maybe in this bringing 15 zone, but I'm at least trying as an owner a little bit to try to help him. How do y'all feel about that? About Jerry doing these things?
I just think there's no excuse for Dak this season, man. I mean, we could say what we want about him as a general manager, and all of that is completely justified. I mean, he is the main culprit for 30, 31 years, whatever it is, of our mediocrity, our losing. But we can't say that he has not gotten Prescott talent. So I just think from that standpoint, like I don't know what else.
The problem with Jerry Jones is not drafting. They brought talent in here.
Yeah,
Tyron Smith, Travis Frederickson, Zach Martin, CeeDee Lamb, Dez Bryant, Zeke,
yep,
Tony Pollard,
yeah,
Dalton Schultz, Trayvon Diggs, Demarion Overshown, Micah Parsons,
yep.
Sam Williams, Deron Bland. They
We can
brought
go to the list.
Brandon Aubrey,
Yeah,
Matt McBriar. We got talent. The
yeah,
problem is Jerry Jones fails to realize when your team is right at the cusp of making a run that you got to go out there and get it active in free agency. And
right.
that's where he fucked up the last 3 years. Is that
100%.
he didn't go out in free agent and say, man, we close. Let me go out there and get a game changer defensive
Yeah.
tackle so that we can stop fucking worrying about the run.
Let me stop you there. Does that contract of Dak Prescott hinder him from signing somebody with big
Yeah,
change money?
but
I mean,
that's only the excuse for last year. Dak
right, but
Prescott was making less than $40 million the year before that.
but even then, even if you exclude Dak's contract, if we look at the way that Jerry and we talked about this on Fifth Show, my entire problem with him was the effort. He just didn't give a fuck to get anybody.
He don't.
It would be one thing if he went to Derrick Henry or like one any of these cats and they were like, "Hey man, kiss my ass." That's different. At least he put forth effort in that. You know what I'm saying? Jerry
Right.
just didn't do anything.
They are
He
scared
didn't-
of free agency. It's fucking weird.
I mean, Jerry Jones literally last year came out and said that he didn't think Derrick Henry would fit our system. That is the most retarded bullshit I've heard in my life. So like
Right.
he didn't put forth any effort to get anybody and then made excuses for it. So that's I agree with Unsansa that is his biggest thing. He just doesn't put the effort.
It's
That's
the
just what
free
it is.
agency part because free agency is hard because you're in a market where you got to compete. Drafting is different because when you take whatever guy, you don't have to compete with nobody for him. You
Yeah.
draft him, he's on your team.
Right.
But free agency, you got to go in there and try not to reset the market, but you don't want to insult anybody. Most of these guys are working with the same agents, so if you go in there and you disrespect an offer on one agent, he's gonna come around on one of the old big guys later on and fucking take him
Right.
to the cleaners for disrespecting them like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, man, I just think so I agree with Uncensored that it was completely it's negligence on his part. I've been saying it last year, even the year before that. I mean, if he put forth the effort to get players and it didn't work, that's different. I don't even fault him for that if that were the case.
As far as in bringing in talent, did he bring enough talent in for Dak Prescott to get you to where you want to be?
This year,
It's
just on the
different, man.
receiver front, yes, just with the Pickens thing. But besides that, I don't know.
There's not enough talent on this team. And there was never going to be enough talent after the draft on this team. This team has been lacking in high quality talent for years.
For years, yeah.
Right.
You skated by because the NFC East has
Was
been
terrible.
deplorable.
Yeah.
The Giants were absolute dog shit. The Commanders were absolute dog shit, and you was able to beat on the Eagles until they
Right.
beefed up their defense.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And now you got a fucking problem because you're not getting 6 wins every single year.
That's
Think
what
about
I.
last
Yeah.
year. If we beat the Eagles like we normally do,
Yeah.
and we sweep the Commanders, we're probably in the
Yeah.
playoff.
We're probably in the
Yeah.
playoffs.
But you can't. You're not the big bad bully in the NFC East anymore.
You know what's
That's right.
it's crazy? We won 7 games last year. It doesn't
That's what
feel
I'm
like
saying.
it.
So if you get to 9, if you do what Dak normally does, is beat
Right.
the Eagles. So
Yeah.
you had 9, and then you carry that last game. You're at 10 wins. You probably 7th seed in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's
But
true.
you can't. The NFC East has changed. It's upgraded. It's not
Yeah.
the same anymore.
No,
So
absolutely.
basically, we waited. We fucked around too long, playing around with our food. 12-5. What was it? 12-5, 12-5, and 12-5 for the championship, and we fell by the wayside.
Well, we couldn't.
What you did was Washington has always had a solid to good team. The
Mhm.
quarterback problem and the ownership was a big problem. They got rid of Dan Snyder,
Mhm.
and then they got a capable quarterback in there, and that team
Yeah.
literally went from one of the worst teams in the league to NFC Championship game in
Mhm.
one year.
1 year. Yeah.
In 1 year. So it can be done, but you need ownership
Mhm.
and players that are focused on the goal, which is winning, not all the flashy shit that's around the
Yeah.
Cowboys.
Yeah.
And then not all the shit of got your phones in the locker room and watching what everybody is tweeting, and then you see somebody talking shit about you. You run outside the fucking locker room and outside the building, start talking shit to the reporters, and then you start, and that
That
right
was
there is
Stephon
it's a
Diggs did
coaching.
that shit.
There's a coaching matter, and then and then to throw gasoline on top of the fire, you got your penalty having team who is just bounded by uh, this penalty game that you can't overcome,
It,
which
it is
sets you back every time you get a big play
the
downfield. There's a penalty after that, and there's
the
another
penalty
penalty after that, and
two
we haven't
point
even touched on the penalties yet. How do y'all feel about the penalties, cleaning up the penalties this year, which was the biggest problem in 2024? How do you fix that? And if you don't fix it, you'll be back where you was last year. How do you feel about that?
2 points. Stephon Diggs is the reason why Trayvon Diggs came out of that locker room fucking yelling at the reporter because his brother was texting him even while the game was still going on. He was
Right.
texting him. So when he got off the field and went into the locker room, he opened up his messages, and his brother then sent him all of that bullshit.
Yeah.
Because
Can you mention?
he didn't run in that locker room and start scrolling Twitter real fast for his name. His brother sent him that shit sitting at home with a torn ACL. And as far as the penalties go, that is
Let
because
me
of
ask you a question.
lack of
Should there be a law with
competitiveness
cell phones
during the week.
on the do they have cell phones on the sideline or no? No, they
No,
don't.
no, no.
No.
Okay.
No. But the penalties have been. Penalties were not just an issue last year. We can go back 10 years. It's been an issue.
It's
Like
the
it's been.
Right.
it's the way they practice, man. They
Yes.
don't practice correctly. So what you do is you end up with players that don't have the discipline during the week, and
Yeah.
then those
Right.
lack of disciplines show up in the game. I was always
Right.
told that penalties are from lack of technique and fatigue. Either
Mm.
you get beat and you hold and you grab, or you do something
Right.
stupid, or you're tired and you get beat and
Mm-hmm.
you hold and grab. Because even the best player in the world, if you're on the field for 40 minutes,
You're gonna
you're
get
going
it.
to get tired, and you're not going to be able to. Your lateral movement slows down just a half a step. You know what I mean?
Let, let
Because
me let, let me ask you a question. Find do you fine them for the amount of penalties, or do you take them off the field to
I don't think the
give them
CBA
rest,
lets.
or to say, hey, you can't keep doing this. Your ass is going to the bench
I don't think
until
the
it's cleaned up.
CBA lets. They can't get. I don't think they can get fined except for personal fouls.
Yeah.
Okay.
They can't get fined for offsides or holding or illegal contact or pass interference or anything like. I think it has to be acts outside of a football move.
So
Yeah.
let me ask you a question. How do you clean this up? Can Scotty clean this up and make this at least 4 or 5 penalties a game, and to stop this from killing this team with what Guyton holding and still holding, and the trips and the false starting by Ferguson and everybody else? Can he get this cleaned up before he gets fired or kicked out of here, which is killing the Cowboys offense? How do you feel about along with Dak Prescott's bullshit play? How do you clean that up?
I mean, he may very well clean it up. Again, I think with Schottenheimer, the one thing we got to take into consideration, we don't know whether he'll be good. We don't know whether he'll be bad. So he may end, and Eberflus is really the main one who's coaching up that deep at the center of the football. So we may end up cleaning up penalties, but because this is a complete blank slate of a season on both sides of the football, I'm just I can only go based off of the history of what's been done over the past 10 odd some odd years, whatever. And the history tells me we have not cleaned up penalties for 10 years, dating back to Garrett, before Garrett. It was even to a degree, even when Jimmy was a coach. Now,
Right.
those guys are Hall of Famers. That's a different conversation. But I'm just saying penalties have been an issue for years.
And I
Right.
don't think Ferguson is your biggest problem as far as penalties
Ferguson
go.
was a big time problem last year, man.
That's
I
no,
very
that's what I'm
disagree.
saying.
Ferguson has 7 penalties total
Jesus.
for 45 yards.
Was that in the Washington game? Because he was very awful in the Washington game,
He was
His
said that
well,
one.
and that
when he gets
if
frustrated, first thing he does, I didn't do this. I ain't
well,
home.
then
And
that would bolster my argument then, because if you're saying that he got the majority of them in one game, then that
Mhm,
means that he didn't get that many penalties. He only had seven. I'm looking at it right now. 5 false start, 2 holding penalties. These penalties resulted in 45 total yards,
Hmm.
and
is that the Washington game?
one of the penalties was declined. One of the so he had 6 credited penalties against him for the entire
Hmm.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying, what I'm saying is, when
So
you look
question
at it
is,
overall, I don't know if Ferguson is your guy that you got to jump and beat down on to fix the
so if
penalties on your team.
Ferguson the issue on penalty and you can't clean it up with him, do you give Schoolmaker more
I don't think
snaps
so.
and get him on the field?
Hell no.
No, hold on. Let me finish my point. You're frustrated with Ferguson because he's setting offense back and he continue to not get it together because he's wanting to be the first one off the line. And he's holding and he's doing these things. I ain't trying to beat him down too much, but do you get Schoolmaker some chances of setting Ferguson on the side? So if you don't clean it up, Schoolmaker's here to help. He's a pretty good run blocker and he's going to help this offense. Do you give Schoolmaker some snaps? And that's a discussion to see in
So
transfer.
OG,
I don't think
OG,
so, man. I
OG,
don't think it's too different.
this is a 2 minute response. Let me cook for a second. I remember me and you had a discussion about Terrence Steele back in October, and you told me Terrence Steele was coming off an injury and he needed some time because you remember when you told me, "Have you ever had a major surgery?" And I told you
Yeah,
no, and you said,
yeah,
"How do you know?" And so
yeah.
Ferguson was injured last season, and he played throughout injury.
Right,
You got to give him a little bit of grace. Those offensive holding penalties might have been during while he was hurt. He wasn't operating at full, and he couldn't get out his blocks fast enough, and he ended up with a holding penalty. Or he's trying to compensate for not being able to get out of the blocks a little bit faster, so he's anticipating the snap count.
right,
Because so if I pull up, I'm gonna see what his penalties was in previous years, and I'm gonna see if the injury year is an outlier compared to his previous 2 years.
right.
Because it's hard to, when you got a player that's out there toughing it up. Yeah, he had 4 penalties in 2023.
Yeah.
Cool. Good question. My question is,
Let's see what his 2022 was right quick before we
with the one
move on.
question is, so you is Ferguson coming in a contract year? Do you pay him, or you get tired of him, and do you move on to Schoolmaker to get him a 6'7" tight end on the field, run block that you throw down the field? I said he was almost better than that Tyler boy. He hasn't got on the field much because he's overshadowed by Ferguson. Do you give Schoolmaker a chance to get out there and play football to help your offense? That's the
No,
question.
I don't
All
think
right, before
Shoemaker will be any better. I don't think he'd be any
Schoonmaker's not
better.
better than Ferguson,
When
but
you drafted
let's just
Schoolmaker,
go.
what, in round two?
Let's
I
just
think
go
so.
this. Just because you drafted him around two don't mean shit. This first round bust every year. Mozzie was the number one, but
Yeah.
he
What
only
would you?
had. So Ferguson had 2 penalties in 2022, 3 penalties in 2023.
Mhm.
I'm telling you, Ferguson is not the problem when it comes to penalties on this team. He played injured and he tried to play and compensate. We saw Zach Martin play with a bad ankle for half
Yeah.
the season, and he looked horrible.
Let me
Yeah.
ask you this question: why would you draft a young man in the second round and he only get what? I would say maybe 11, 10, 11 snaps a game. I mean, like, what are we doing here? I mean, like,
Because we suck at scouting Michigan
They're
players.
horrible at that. Yeah.
They
the
drafted him
Schoolmaker
thinking
played
that he was
at
better
Notre
than what he
Dame, didn't
was.
he? Did he play at Notre Dame?
No, he came from Michigan. I could have sworn.
He came from Michigan, I thought, right?
Yeah, Schoonmaker came from Michigan.
That's fair
Okay,
enough. I thought he
Michigan.
came from Michigan.
It's whoever's scouting fucking Michigan
Yeah,
needs
he's
to be
from Michigan.
fired, man.
He's from Michigan.
Michigan. Okay,
He's from
okay.
Michigan.
But
Yeah,
the point
But
that's not the point is he's a second round pick. Why would
yeah,
you continue to roll with Ferguson if you got Schoolmaker on the roster?
but
At least,
Schoonmaker is a run blocking tight end. That's what they were trying to
okay.
do. Jake Ferguson is a primary pass catching with a little bit of run blocking. What they were
Mhm.
trying to do was get somebody in. They were trying to draft somebody to help the run game, so we could pull Jake out of the lineup and put a run blocking tight end as basically a sixth lineman into the game that has a little bit of pass catching, so that you got to keep the defense honest. That's what they
Mhm.
were trying to do with Schoonmaker. The problem is he should
Okay.
have been a fifth-round draft pick, but they fucked up and drafted him in the second round.
Yeah, I just don't think he's that good, man. Just
He's not.
anyway, I
The
just
question is, do we pay Ferguson, or do we release him, and then do we keep Schoolmaker, and then let him consistently to get better and be our tight end in 2025, 26? I mean, how do you feel about that?
I don't think Schoonmaker is the answer for the Cowboys at
he's
all.
not.
This year, next year,
But he
10 years
hasn't
down the
got on the
road.
field and played much as Ferguson.
There's a reason for that.
I just don't think
He's
he's that good, man, to be
he's
able to
not
play.
that good.
I think we got to get it. I mean, I want to give Ferguson a grace period from last year too. This season will tell me a lot about him specifically. I mean, because I liked him last year, but this past season, I was granted the injury obviously would have played a factor in that, but I think
Ferguson
based
should have
off of
just
the way
set
he
his
plays,
ass. He shouldn't have played hurt. This is the
yeah,
problem when
yeah,
you got players that want to tough it out and play hurt. Then the fan base sit up there and they only judge him by what they see on the field. They don't understand that this dude is 80% of what he normally is because he's hurt.
right. No, for sure,
And
for
when you
sure.
lose 20% of your skill, you get fucking mollywopped in the NFL.
Yeah,
Hmm.
no, for sure. But I
If he
think
would have
this
if he
season
would
will
have
tell me
just
a lot.
sidelined himself until he was healthy and came back in, this wouldn't be a topic of debate, man. Ferguson is not that bad of a player.
No, not at all.
You could
Not at
play
all.
football with Ferguson and be just fine.
I
And
just
you leave Schoolmaker on the bench.
what happened?
Yes, that's where he's been.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, Schoonmaker is not going to be any better. That guy
Just
is
think of this. Sorry, just think about this,
not
OG. Ferguson was hurt, and they still put Ferguson in over Schoonmaker.
right. Yeah.
That's
No,
that's how bad Schoonmaker is. That they'd rather have an 80% Ferguson with his penalties and his lack of production over Schoonmaker.
What's wrong with Schoolmaker?
He's not that good of a tight end.
he's not that. He's just not that good,
Is
man.
he poorly coached? Could there be a coaching issue?
No, he's just
I just
every
think it's
player
talent.
ain't got it, man. Sometimes you just you swing and you strike out. They struck out with Schoonmaker.
I just don't think he's that talented, man. I'm just being honest.
Okay.
And NFL level, I don't think he's that guy, man.
He's not, and it's
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
You're not gonna bat 1,000.
I respect y'all opinion. I think he needs to be given a shot. 6'7". He do got some good speed. I saw it last year. I do think the quarterback play is hindering Ferguson because you can't roll the pocket to the left. You can't roll the pocket to the right. You're steady in that fucking shotgun. You ain't on the center. Bootleg pass. You missed it because sweet people not gonna say that. But it is what it is on that one. But moving on from Ferguson, I see you got Cooper. So Cooper played left guard. So why are we moving? Because Cooper play left guard or we playing right guard?
Who, BB?
No, Cooper. Who was the set? No, I'm sorry. I made it.
Yeah.
Booker. I meant Booker.
Booker. Gotcha. I was about to say like
I was brain fart. Sorry about that. Yeah, Booker.
Booker. I mean, what did he get drafted as? I'm not even sure, to be honest. Let's see.
He played left guard. So how do we? So we're gonna. What are we gonna do with Smith? Is Smith playing to the left? I'm confused. So I keep saying, what the hell is going on?
Well, my thing is because Tyler Smith is an all-pro at that position, man. I know Chemps wants to move him. I frankly don't. I think if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's where I am with Tyler Smith. So if Booker's a right guard, make him play right guard. I don't want to move an all-pro in Tyler Smith. That's just where I am. So you know what I mean. So I would keep him at left guard. That's me.
So wait a minute. So somebody said Nate Dogg said Tyler Smith is the left guard.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying keep Tyler Smith at left guard because
Booker on the right guard. So Booker, I guess, got you playing to the shit.
Yeah, he would be playing on the right.
He's replacing Zach Martin.
So he hasn't learned a whole new. He's a whole other
He
side.
played
on the
both.
right side.
He played both in college. He'll be fine.
But also we got to keep in mind.
The interior defensive lineman is not that big of a change. It's the tackles. When you out in the tackles and you got to play out in space, that's when it's different. Playing guard on the right side of a center versus the left side of the center is not that big of a learning curve.
Right.
Yeah. No, man, I think keep Tyler Smith at left guard, man. I wouldn't change him.
I
Absolutely.
think that's the.
You just
Okay,
you don't mess up your all pro, bro.
you got
Exactly.
Guyton on the left. Guyton playing left tackle. Do we trust Guyton on that side because of his fundamentals with his fucking feet, or do we replace him and put him on the right side
Who
and with
Guyton?
Tyler Steele? Yeah. Do
Who do
we?
you replace him with?
Who would we replace him with?
Steele. What about that? What about that tackle from Oregon?
What about the
Okay,
running back?
Steele position. If Steele is struggling on the right side again, do we give that tackle from Oregon a shot to play on that right side? I'm sure free agent.
I'm done with Steele, man. I can't with that guy, man.
Hold on, Eshawn. Hold on now. Careful now. Why you
What do you mean?
Steele?
You think Steele's production is worse?
Well, man, I stuck up a Steele last year. I was probably unsensitive about it because of an injury. Oh man, I'm getting kind of tired of him too. I might be on the boat with y'all about that. I do have an opinion this way, my sweat though, but it's overwhelming right now with him, bro. His footwork is, I don't know what's going on with him.
But here's the thing: he got paid off of one season. He's not been productive since he's gotten the money. He's just not productive. So like, I can't with that fucking dude, man. You can get anybody to replace that productivity. How bad he's been playing.
Shit, Derek Carr retired?
Did he?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, really? I did not know that.
Yeah, because I saw this morning, Saints got 4 quarterbacks on the roster right now.
Oh, damn. Yeah, he did retire. Okay, wow.
They got 3.
He
I
gave
think
up
it's
$30
because of
million
injury
to
with him.
retire. Holy shit.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, I think it was because of injury that he retired.
That's what he's tired of his body getting beat down.
Yeah. No, Derek Carr has not killed. Yeah, for sure.
He got enough money. So Derek Carr said, okay, he was Derek Carr with the Saints, and he said, hey, you young guys can have it. I'm finna retire. I got my money. I'm cool. That's what I keep trying to say. What the fuck is going on with Dak Prescott? If Derek Carr and Aaron Rodgers is talking, Aaron Rodgers said, I'm out of here too.
Dak isn't going to retire anytime soon.
My body can't take it no more. So why do I keep getting knocked to the ground, a ton of injuries? You're going to be to the point where you can't walk anymore, and then you got to continue to take pain pills for the rest of your life, or you got these injuries to your body. And get out now while you got your money. Just get out and go. Like, what is the problem with leaving? That's what I keep trying to say. Dak, what is your problem? Why can't you leave?
He's not going to retire anytime soon, man. I don't see that happening. He's going to get all of this bag. He's not going to retire anytime soon.
What's going on, bro? How you doing?
What's happening, man? No, Dak is not retired, man. I don't think.
What's up, Fiend? What's up? Who's going to retire? What I missed?
No, he was asking why Dak, because I just found out that Derek Carr retired. I did not know that up until that censored message. But like, it was just, I don't see Dak retiring, man.
I think Derek Carr got a torn rotator cuff, bro. That's the only injury that I can think of that would have took him out where he didn't want to do the rehab.
But no, I mean, he's had
$30 million
for years too. I think I might be wrong, but I thought so. But
yeah, $30 fucking million.
Right.
And he was not going to play this year. All he had to do was rehab. And he said he'd rather retire than do the damn rehab.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, I'm surprised he retired, but who knows?
That's a lot. That's a lot that you can get paid just to go to the medical facilities.
Yeah, no, for
sure.
He's
got to rehab either way, but now he can do it on his own schedule. Before he was gonna have to follow whatever schedule the team put for the rehab. Now you can take a week off here and there and stuff.
Yep.
Oh, since he jumped off. Okay. Come on back, Savage. You must have happened. So with Derek Carr retired. So would that be if he's tired? He want to live at his own pace. He's tired of injuries. He don't want to do the rehab. He wants to stay home with his family. He wants to live his life, and he want to do at his own pace. He want to do the rehab and go to the gym when he wants. He wants to let his body fully recover and not be rushed back. And that's That's what I pointed out to a few guys. I pointed that out to what's the young man name we went on to? He was on the show yesterday. Y'all
Junkie?
make the bet with Junkie and a
Yeah.
couple of his homeboys, and everybody else tells you once you get these injuries, once you continue to, I'm gonna pop Savage on there. When you continue to, your body has said, okay, hey man, what the fuck is going on with you, man? We know we got this cartilage in our body, and we continue to try to rehab, and you're sore, and you don't know your next injury. I mean, why does Dak Prescott want to? I mean, what does he have? What else does he have to prove to try to us to say putting his body in harm's way? I mean, does it make any sense? Derek Carr's gone. Aaron Rodgers should be gone because of injury.
$60
He
million
got
reasons why he's still playing.
exactly. And on top of that, Dak still if you were to ask Dak, he probably still thinks he's going to win the Super Bowl. That guy is, but like I agree logically that he probably, I mean, based off of the injury history, but he's not
Man, y'all
retiring.
pay me $60 million. I'm gonna have my ass out there throwing
Man,
interceptions too.
he's
I
not
wouldn't
gonna
give
retire.
two shits.
Oh, so you're gonna go out there and you're gonna throw an interception. You're gonna hurt the team. Fuck the team, right? I mean,
Yeah,
like
the
fuck the
60.
team.
I'm
I
gonna
mean,
make the $60
fuck the
million.
team.
I'm making
Is
the
that what we
$60
doing
million
now?
dollars. Man, fuck
Is that
Dallas
what we
and
doing now,
everybody else. Just
sister?
cut my check. Cut my
Is
check
that
to
what we
60
doing?
million.
Is that what we doing? Fuck
Absolutely.
the team. I gotta get
And
paid.
you
Fuck the
know
team. I
you
don't
would do
care.
this. You know you would do the same thing.
Oh fuck.
If
OG,
somebody was
bro.
gonna pay you $60 million to be a bum on the field and still pay you 60, you would do it.
OG, these teams, they're not teams. It's 52 individuals, man.
100%.
They're not that
They are all
team. That
businesses.
teams. That's
52
college. That's
individual
high
businesses.
school. NFL, bro. They all look at each other like as a corporation themselves.
Yep.
There's no
Right.
team. There's no
And
team.
and then that's what it's all about. So that's what I'm saying.
This is a money making.
It's a money making business at the end of the day, man. So like,
So basically, what y'all saying is get ready for another fucked up season with an injury prone, terrible quarterback, and then
it would have happened regardless.
and continue to and talk shit. I mean, they better get ready to talk shit because for everybody to think that we're gonna make to the Super Bowl, there is a problem with his health injury. So suck it up and build Dak Prescott for the next few years and be happy.
Well,
Is that what you're saying?
well, OG, man, there's nothing we can do about it, right? I mean, regardless, we're stuck with Dak until 27, like we said.
Right.
So it
Right.
doesn't really like on top of so we paid him this much of capital. We're stuck with him until 27. So there's just this season is done already, man. And we're not gonna do a Super Bowl. It's not gonna happen at all. So like we're stuck with Dak. What are we gonna like? We can't really be. There's nothing we can do about that, man. We're stuck with the fucking guy. So it annoys me that we're stuck with them, but that's just the reality of the matter. So
Right.
no, it's annoying. I mean, I get the frustration behind it, but it's just I don't see it. I don't see him retiring anytime soon. That I don't see that happening.
I know, but basically, my thing over there is keep your body in harm's way, continue to get the $60 million, and basically down the field until it's all over. You know what y'all saying?
I'm just saying that he's going to be out there on the field. He's going to cash those checks. Probably still going to play. His play is going to be the same. It may not be as bad as it was last year, but it's Dak's play. Dak is what he is, man. It's going to be the same play, same song and dance that we've seen for 10 years. So it's not going to be any different. This is a wash season, I think. If we just look at the opponents that we talked about earlier in the show, it's just based off of that. I don't see us making the playoffs. So, and I mean, this season is fucked from top to bottom, I think.
But real quick, like let's just say, I mean, you don't wish injury on anyone.
Of course,
Let's just say hypothetically he suffers like an Alex Smith type injury, something serious. I'm just saying, like
something serious. Yeah,
is this his whole contract guaranteed? So whether
it is. Yeah.
The only part that is he can have an injury settlement based off a non-guaranteed part, but the guaranteed part is guaranteed no matter what.
No matter what.
God damn.
So Dak Prescott could have signed that contract, went out there and had a Joe Theismann injury and been done, and they would have still owed him all of that money.
Yeah, that's why we're stuck with him. No matter whether he plays or doesn't play, we can't do
that. Is why players. I tell people all the time, don't worry about the number. It's about the guaranteed money.
Yeah.
The $231 million is the problem. They could have signed him at a $500 million contract But if they only guaranteed $100-something million, that's the only money that you can bank on, because the rest of it can be terminated at any point in time. That's why as soon as the guaranteed money is gone, they want to hold out and get new contracts.
Yep. He got, I'm looking at his, it's $231 million guaranteed and $80 million in a signing bonus. Yeah. So yeah, we're stuck with it. No matter
80 million. How do you split 80 million up?
It's on 80 million is a signing bonus. 231 million is guaranteed.
So 151 million is probably roster bonuses and things like that.
Yeah. No, yeah. So based off of those numbers, we're not. It's impossible. It'd be damn near impossible to move this contract. That's,
you can't move him.
Yeah,
if you cut him next year, it's over $100-something million.
Yeah, it's a 40-year, $240 million contract.
I'll pull it up right now. Let me see.
Do you think he
Dak Prescott next year? Let's see. If you cut Dak Prescott next year before June 1st, it's $130 million cap hit. If you cut him after, it's a $74 million cap hit.
Yeah.
If you trade him, it's a $90 million cap hit.
Do you think Dak Prescott will make it through the 2025 season with the way the defenses are playing now and the physicality of the game? Will he make it out, and will it consist another injury? That is the biggest. That is the biggest elephant in the room.
There's two answers to this.
Yeah.
Is one, will he miss some time next year? You can bank on that.
You can bank on it.
Will he suffer a season-ending injury? I don't think so.
I don't think that. Yeah, exactly. I'm 100% with him. The history he's been injured 4 of the last 5 seasons to some degree. We had, obviously there was the ankle. Even before the ankle, he had that shoulder injury.
And then the thumb.
Yeah, then after there was obviously the ankle, then there was the thumb, then he had the calf pull, then now the hamstring. That's 4 injuries in the past 5 seasons. So you can it's almost a guarantee that he is going to miss time. I don't wish injury on him, of course not, but it's going to be minimum 2-3 games he's going to miss. That's just the history, what the past 4 or 5 seasons have shown. But
are we looking at our team in too much of a bubble?
What happened?
Are we looking at our team in too much of a bubble? How many quarterbacks miss some playing time every single year?
Well, yeah, but to the extent I get what you're asking, but not to the extent of what Dax is. If we look at any the first stringers, some of them I guess, but I don't see Lamar or Josh or Patrick.
Lamar stay hurt.
Well, he does, but it's not as consistent as what I mean. Year after year.
All right, right now I'm gonna run down in 2020.
Joe Burrow.
Aaron Rodgers had a torn ACL. He was a starter. Anthony Richardson had a shoulder. He was a starter. Deshaun Watson had a shoulder. He was a starter. Daniel Jones had a torn ACL. Kirk Cousins had a torn ACL. Joe Burrow had a wrist injury. Justin Herbert had a finger. Kyler Murray missed time. Justin Fields missed time. Ryan Tannehill, Jimmy Garoppolo, Kenny Pickett, Bryce Young, Matthew Stafford, Geno Smith. They were all starters.
No, for sure.
2023, 66 different quarterbacks missed at least one game.
Let me ask y'all this question.
Are we looking at our quarterback and saying, is it the norm that a quarterback is expected to miss 2 or 3 games a year due to some nagging injury, or is our quarterback an outlier?
Let me ask y'all this question. In training camp, could he sustain or re-aggravate that hamstring surgery that he had?
Absolutely, 100%.
He could aggravate it, but who knows?
He could aggravate it tomorrow, getting out of bed.
You never know with those kind of injuries. It's always a nagging thing, right? So
Deshaun Watson retore his Achilles. He just retore his Achilles.
Yeah.
Yes,
in the middle of rehab.
Yes, he did.
He was getting tug jobs left and right. That's why he.
Y'all remember Darren McFadden? You remember Darren McFadden fell by the pool and got injured?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Darren McFadden got injuries left and right. That guy.
Let me ask y'all this question: is Dak Prescott rushing back?
How do you rush back? You're gonna be out for eight months.
He's been out for it's been a year almost, a full calendar year almost. So it wouldn't be. I don't think he'd be rushing. Rushing back would be at the quarterback position. Also, I don't know if that would be necessarily It's been almost a calendar year. So
it was a partial tear.
The man was never in the cast.
He was on the sidelines, and half the time he wasn't even in crutches when I saw
him. So the partial tear needs to be re-stitched up and Is that what it is?
Yeah,
No,
probably.
he's
Bones. It
fully
was
healed.
hamstring torn from the bone. So do you need to attach the
He's fully
hamstring
healed
back
from
to
the
the bone?
hamstring.
It was never torn off the bone. The tendon was still on the bone. The muscle, there was a tear in the muscle cartilage, if that
Yeah.
makes any
Okay.
sense. So
Yeah.
the tendon was still there, but
All
there
right.
was a tear in the actual muscle. So they pull it back up and reattach it. But it was
Right.
never completely off the bone because
He
you
would
wouldn't be
have
able to
been
walk.
on the fucking ground in ridiculous amount of
Yeah.
fucking pain.
If it was completely torn off the bone, he would not have been able to move, man.
Yeah.
He
So
would have got off the field.
he had a tear in his muscle. We don't know how big the tear is, but there was a that.
I think they made it out to be worse than what it was. They made it out to be worse than what it was, I think.
100%.
So is the tear? Is this injury? Is it completely healed for him? For a training camp
I
and ready
guarantee
to go for
you
25.
that tear is. I guarantee you that tear is healed.
You think it's completely healed?
Absolutely.
I don't know. We don't know that until we see him get out there. We don't know that. We don't know that since we just don't know that. We don't know that.
Take this long to repair.
With age and time, yes.
But it don't take a year to repair it for your hamstring. Even without a surgery, it wouldn't have took this long. The surgery speeds up the process by reattaching the muscle fibers. Otherwise, the muscle fibers naturally will reattach themselves, but it takes longer.
Yeah.
There's no Tyron Smith tore his in training camp and came back in November, at the end of November. And his was all the way off the bone. He was in the full cast.
What I'm asking you is, how old is Dak Prescott?
32.
32.
He turns 33 in June.
July.
Okay, July. Do you think his age and his recovery time could be an issue?
It's not that significant to hold back a hamstring.
I mean, it's a problem his age, but it's not. I mean, he's been a full calendar year should be enough time to heal.
When I had my surgery, I had a screw there
for a hamstring.
I had a screw here. I had a screw there, and it took me almost 2 years to get my shoulder where it needs to be.
That's
and
a major surgery, OG. That's a major surgery. You got hardware in you. That's a major surgery. He got some fucking stitches.
Yeah.
He got internal stitches. That's it.
Okay.
Everyone's different. Everyone heals different too. Also in today's world, especially in the athletic
medicine,
world,
the steroids,
there's
everything, man.
So there's no problem there then.
HGH.
Man.
I mean,
the
man
was backpedaling on the sideline the week after he got hurt.
Yeah,
he's smart. They played it up.
Yeah, he was damn near running, I guess, in the Commanders' last game of the season.
Yeah, he was doing that.
So I mean,
they played that shit up because he was having a bad season. Yep. They wanted to pull him off the field to save face because they just spent $60 million on the dude. They gave him that big ass contract, and he was playing the worst he's ever fucking played.
Oh yeah, last season was even for as much inconsistent as he was. Last season was the worst I've seen him play. It was a bad season for him.
I got another question.
What's crazy before we move on? They trying to say that he tore his hamstring, quote unquote, off the bone on the run play before the pass.
Yeah.
When we all know for a fucking fact, there's no way he ran back to the huddle, took a snap, and threw a fucking pass on a hamstring that was all the way off the bone.
There's no way.
He would have dropped. He would have dropped, man.
There's no way. He would have been on, like, it would not have happened. I agree.
Exactly. And he walked off the field after.
Let me ask you this question. If there is another injury this year, that could be in training camp, that could be the beginning of the season or in the middle of the season, are we comfortable with Milton ready to come in and take over, take help of the offense? That is that up in the room. Are we ready for that?
I am.
Yeah. I mean, we have to see what the kid does, man. Who knows what he's going to do?
Next up.
So wait a minute. What do you mean I am? So are you comfortable with preseason? He needs preseason to show you he's ready.
Yeah,
it won't matter. It won't matter because you're not winning anything this year. So
I didn't know. I just asked you the question. Are are you comfortable? You said you is, but why are you comfortable with Milton coming in to give you a
That
couple
is
of games?
why I,
Man?
that
Huh?
is why I'm comfortable because I have no expectations for this year. It doesn't matter
Okay.
who comes in
Yeah,
and plays quarterback. We're not going
Right.
anywhere.
I just
So
Right.
feel
I'm
with
a
him. Yeah,
Tyron
I'm.
Smith can come back and play quarterback, and I'll be like, whatever. We weren't doing
Right.
anything anyway.
I with
Right.
Milton, I would be curious just to see how he plays more than
Exactly.
win or we lose doesn't matter. I don't think it's going to affect
The season
playoffs.
at
It's not
all.
going to affect. It's not going to affect the season in that regard. I'd be surprised if it does. But I just would if he gets on the field, which almost you can bank on it to an extent. I would be more curious to see how he plays. Will
Oh,
Greer's our
the,
third stringer, so we know how Will Greer plays in the NFL. I don't want to
oh,
hear that.
the that is a question you ask for a team that you think is on the cusp of something big. You
Yeah,
don't want to leave any holes or gaps in your roster in case somebody goes down. Like
yeah,
if we were like, man, we could compete for an NFC championship. Are you okay if he goes down? Can we still get to an NFC championship? But the difference is, are you gonna miss the playoffs with Dak, or are you gonna miss the playoffs with Milton?
right. No, yeah,
So the backup doesn't it's irrelevant. Now in 2 years, if we're deep into the playoffs or we can finally win playoff games and stuff like that, we back to winning 12, 13 games a year, then you start going, man, we got to make sure our backup quarterback can carry this team if something happens to the starter.
So
But
let me
right
ask you
now,
this
it
question.
don't change the outcome of the season.
So draft, bringing it. Well, you said Sensor said that was a draft. So they traded him over to that they drafted a quarterback with a trade over. Is that a wasted pick for the
No, you got
26,
3 years.
26 draft?
You got
Huh?
3 years to develop and see what you got. That's not a
we
wasted
have.
pick.
Yeah, exactly. We can see what we have in him. We can develop him. So
You didn't know what you had. You didn't know that you had Dak until he got on the field. It took 2 injuries for Dak to get on the field.
yeah, it took Kellen Moore's injury, then it took Romo's. So
Yeah,
if we're even
they
to be,
didn't draft They didn't draft Dak to replace Romo.
no, of course not.
So everybody is happy with Milton. I looked over Milton's footwork a couple of days ago, and I did see his drop back footwork. It is quicker than Dak's. Him setting himself up really quick and getting the ball off. I did see that. I did like the way the ball came out of his hand. That was very nice, and I do like his touch over the middle. You may have something with that. I am happy. I'm good with you. I am happy with Milton as of right now. I do. I want to see him more in the preseason. I want to see him flourish in this offense. I do see something there. I'm not gonna say he's gonna push back out because we got him under contract. But if the injury's there, I want to see this offense go in another direction with Milton. I do like his deep, but I want to see more of that. Him throwing over the. If I could see, and I do want to point. Excuse me. I did like the point Savage made last week. He said that how do you know what a player can do if he's not playing with the one? I would like to see Milton play with the ones to see what he could do. You know, he probably won't get that this year, but I would like to see his talent with Pickens and Lamb and Ferguson and them to see what kind of offense. That would be nice to see. How you feel about that, Savage?
It's common sense, I think. You know what I'm trying to say? How can you fairly judge a guy when he's playing with guys that are going to be selling cars at the end of training camp? You know,
I agree.
that's
Yep.
just my opinion, man. You
Yeah.
can't.
We can't judge Milton unless he's with the ones, man.
Yeah, that's the
Right.
only way.
So I
I
mean,
agree.
and the
I,
only
I've
time he'll be
always
able to get with the ones is if and when Dak gets hurt. So that would be
I've
the only time you're
always
not going
said
to judge him.
I've always said that it's a piss poor evaluation to put a quarterback behind a third string fucking offensive line and third string wide receivers and then say he can't do it.
Yeah,
Right.
And look how like it worked the opposite way with Dak Prescott.
Yep.
Romo
Right.
got hurt,
Yep.
and Dak stepped right in with
Yeah.
all the starters,
yeah.
surrounded by the ones.
Well, the same
Yeah.
shit happened with Romo when they pulled Drew Bledsoe out.
Drew Bledsoe, yeah.
His first game was with the ones.
Yeah.
It's a night and day difference, right? So
Yo,
he
He threw 5 interceptions that game though, didn't he? Against the Giants.
he kills Romo, Drew Bledsoe. He talks
yeah.
down on him so much, man. It's hilarious.
Nah, man. I mean,
He had flashbacks of the Patriots. That's why.
Romo's first game, he threw 5 picks right against the Giants.
I don't
Probably,
think so.
I don't
Romo came
remember.
in
I
towards
don't
the end of
remember.
that game, didn't he? Now
Mhm.
his first 5 pick game was that Buffalo game where Nick
Oh
Foles
yeah,
Nick Folk came in and kicked that fucking 52-yarder for the win.
right. Yeah.
There was
Man,
one game Folk had like 7 field goals on a Monday night versus
That was
Buffalo.
the Buffalo game.
that was a Buffalo
I
game.
had Foles as my kicker in fantasy. That
Really?
he got me like 25 points.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
Romo threw 5 fucking interceptions, and they still won that game because Terrence Williams had that toe tap catch down the sideline that got him right up there for him to kick that 52-yarder.
Yeah.
I remember that game. That shit was crazy. It was a
Yeah,
Monday
that's
night game.
I
No,
don't know.
Romo was like Romo was talented, but that guy just you never knew what he was going to play like.
Right.
He does the same shit Dak does. He
Yeah.
feasts and famine. I think I think he's very intelligent. And if you listen to Romo talk about the game, he could damn near call a play before it even happened most times.
Absolutely, yeah.
So he understands the game formation and team tendencies and stuff like that. I just think that when some people can't handle that pressure.
Yeah.
That pressure makes them do things that are outside of their character. Like better. Like it's like when I don't know if y'all got kids, but when your kids know better, but sometimes they get peer pressure and stressful situations can make them do
Absolutely.
something that they're not normally used. Like that don't even sound like you. Why would you do something like that? And
No,
they don't
absolutely.
know. The pressure in that moment made them do something they don't normally do.
No,
That's why I
absolutely.
think it's the problem with Romo and Dak is. I'll tell you right now, that Green Bay game, I knew Dak Prescott was gonna fuck up because of the pre-game interviews. I'm like, this dude is in his fucking head already.
Yeah. He was in his head on the Niners games, the Packer game, even the Niner game during this past regular season when the guy, I think the reporter asked, like, how are you feeling about the Niner playoff game or whatever? And he's like, oh,
Right.
I appreciate you asking. Motherfucker goes on to throw 3 picks in that game. So I think
go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say so. Dak absolutely gets in his head, man. You can see it before we talked about it. You can see it before he even steps on the field. He
played better. Remember we had 13-3. He played better in that game against the Packers. He's more relaxed. He knew he had Zeke. He knew he had people around him. He's relaxed, even though he did throw some picks that was crucial down there when he was going on to score to take over the Packer game. And when he was a rookie, he played relaxed. I thought he was going to win it. We didn't win it. But then fast forward 2 years later, he disappeared. So I don't know what it is with the guy.
Yeah, but that rookie year, Dak Prescott didn't know what he didn't know. He
exactly.
was just riding the wave.
And on top of that, the Dak in his rookie season is not the Dak now. 2 completely different players. Because I almost look at it almost like Dak Prescott the first 4 years, and then there's Dak Prescott over the past couple of seasons. Because the first 4 seasons, it would be a miracle if he threw for 220 yards a game. People in the media he would average, I think, 170, 180 yards passing, but he would make key plays like in the Seahawks playoff game and stuff like that, like with his legs and stuff athletically. But the moment he gets Amari Cooper, all of a sudden this dude's lighting up like the Eagles for 400 yards. Then, the 2020 season, he had those 500-yard games against the Browns and shit. And then all of a sudden he flips to where he throws 60 attempts in a Packer playoff game.
That's because they would call it a dinking and dacking, and they all of a sudden they wanted to prove something to somebody.
Exactly. So I think the 2020 season, because the perception of the media of Dak in the 2020 season was he is lighting up the league. This is what they said. He's like, because he was like bombing 500 yards a game almost, but we would have that Mike Nolan defense who would be giving up all kinds of plays up the field. So the media in 2020 was like, oh, Dak is a playing elite. The defense is shit. I think that got in his head, and that got in the Cowboys' head. So all of a sudden, they started treating him like he was elite. Because it's a night. The reason I say that's because it was a night and day difference from that season before and after. It's not the same thing.
So fast forward to 2025. I'm saying is how many times to save his ass from getting injured? How many times should we run the ball this year? A game.
Well, realistically, Dak is at his best when he throws 20 to 28 passes a game, but we've been saying that his whole career. So if he's throwing 20, 28 passes, I'm talking like 20, 25 rushing attempts, maybe 30 sometimes, depending on the game.
Okay. You average about 45 snaps a game.
Yeah, so I just don't think that. But again, like I said, I don't see a situation where they're actually going to run the ball 20, 25 times. like a bell cow like that. I don't.
Yeah. Let me. Who's gonna be the starting running back? That's the question. I'm trying to get down to.
Savage was trying to jump in on that last part.
Oh, what's up?
Getting back to the last part, I would say we go to the pass whenever team we play is stop the run.
Exactly.
I'm old school. So if you're first, you run a power first play, you get 6-7 yards. You run the exact
that
same
shit
play
again.
all over again.
Yeah.
You run that play until because let's think about it. Every single play there is, except the kneel down, is designed to score a touchdown. So you run that play until they stop it, and then the run will open up the, I'm trying to say, the passing game.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Who do I think?
So my question to you, Savage, who was your starting running back for 2025?
I think Maffa's running back. I think it's going to be a timeshare between Maffa and Blue.
Well, right now it's listed as Javonte Williams is listed as the starter. Yeah. And Miles Sanders is the second stringer. Maffa is like the fucking fourth stringer right now on the depth.
Yeah, that's just position. Once they get on the field, that'll change.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So Williams. So basically, do we run it down that throat this year behind Booker? And that's the question. Do we run down that throat this year with Booker and Tyler Smith?
I mean, we should. Whether we will is the question. We should, though.
Is BB okay in the run game? Is he strong enough? I got a question for you, Savage. Is BB strong enough to get the push up front, to get the guard out, the tackle out of the way, open up that lane? How do you feel about BB in that center position?
Listen, he performed fine. They asked him to play a position he never played before, and he played fine.
He got better as the season went.
Yeah.
So leave him there.
I say so.
I say the same thing.
You're afraid of his strength, or you're afraid of.
But
can he open up the hole? I mean, that's the problem. Can he open up that hole along with Booker? Is Booker there next to him? Will help him with his run blocking. That's the question to you, Savage.
Listen, I've been watching Alabama film all morning, looking at other players, and in some of these games, Booker was in the majority of the games, and I was scouting the left tackle, and Booker's the left guard, and the more I saw of him, I just can't see the 12th pick of the draft, man. I'm sorry, I can't.
Really? How do you feel? What do you mean you more saw? What are you talking about?
He was my second ranked guard.
Okay.
Perfect example. Anyone can just go to the bowl game. Alabama versus Michigan. Michigan pretty much had their, majority of second stringers in because they all sat out for to get drafted. But Alabama, I'll give them credit. They had all their starters in for a meaningless bowl game. So I will give them credit for that. But the more I'm watching the kid I'm watching on Alabama, and the more I'm watching Booker, I just listen, he's the first kid you want off the bus. He's a monster. He has long arms, big hands. I just don't see the hype, bro. I don't.
When you say you don't see the hype, do you mean you don't see the push up front because he's playing against college? Is it different in the NFL and will he get his ass whooped up front because of the talent in the NFL?
Well, of course it's different. It's 1,000 times. The game's 1,000 times faster. 2%, less than 2% of college kids play in the NFL, so you're playing up against the best of the best. I mean, all I'm trying to say is I'm the type of guy I got to see it to believe it. They anointed him. They anointed him the right guard. So let's just see. But I mean, listen. I'm fine. I was fine with the pick, man. It is what it is. It was a trench pick. We could have did a lot worse. So no big deal. But plenty of good guards went round 2, round 3. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
All I try to say is you draft a guard number 12. He better be something special. And we all know he was a BPA. We all know he wasn't best player available, but that's water under the bridge, so it's not even worth talking about,
So basically what you're saying is they better get this pick right. If not, that was a reach.
Say it again.
What you're saying is you played it. This pick was right. If not, then that was a stupid ass reach because they could have done better.
It was a reach no matter what. Yeah, absolutely. It was a reach. 100%. It was a reach.
Okay.
I had him going late first rounds. A lot of people had him going early second round.
Yeah.
And we took him at 12. I just think they got stuck. They wanted to move back. Listen, they couldn't have been that high on Booker.
Right.
They were on the phone with the Texans, going back and forth, trying to get enough compensation to move back.
That's what I was saying. I was trying to tell people earlier. I say if they would have moved back, it probably would have helped their chances because I saw the value when they showed it the night before and I screenshot it sent us. If they would have moved back, they probably could have got Booker back then.
Nobody was willing to give them the correct compensation.
Yeah, nobody. Yeah, they were true. Texans might have even been trolling them, man.
Nobody wanted to get them the right compensation. But you put it out there and go, hey, if you want to move back, this is what I'm willing to offer. Mm-hmm. You the one that want to move back. I don't want to come up. You want to move back, so this is our offer.
Yeah, right.
If the Texans would have been calling the Cowboys, then the leverage is with the Cowboys. The Cowboys are calling other teams.
Mm-hmm. So basically, go ahead.
If the Texans would have moved up,
mm-hmm.
I'll bet money that pick would have been Ty Warren. I bet.
You think they're not happy with Schultz?
Who?
Completely different style of players, in my opinion, man. I don't know. I just who I mean,
Schultz is working out with
left tackle. There was no left tackle worth the 12th pick in the draft. So like I overanalyze stuff a lot too. I have that problem. But who would they think of coming up for?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's like I just try to think in my head,
Yeah.
I overthink.
So the question is,
who went right after us? Who got drafted right after?
Miami Dolphins picked right after.
Okay, the Dolphins. Okay.
And now, perfect example of why every year 10 general managers and every year 10 coaches get fired. Basically they picked right after us. Tua Tagovailoa already has CTE. But what did the Dolphins do? They drafted defensive tackle, so it didn't make sense. But then in the second round, they got a monster guard in the second round. Miami.
The Dolphins?
Well, first round, Miami took a defensive tackle, Kenneth Gant, out of Michigan. But then in the second round, they took Jonas Salvia out of Arizona, just a bulldozer. So,
Houston traded out of the first round.
Yeah,
they did.
So whoever they were eyeing must have got taken fairly early, right after the Cowboys, because then they said we don't want nobody in the first round.
Yeah,
it was.
I got a question for you, Savage. Does this Booker pick help the run up front?
If he performs like they think he is, it'll help.
It depends on how he performs at the end of the day, right?
Depends on how he performs. Do I think Booker's going to help the pass rush? I don't think so.
It depends on how he plays. Yeah.
Unblocking, yes. Fresh legs is also going to help the run game. You know what I'm trying to say? It's just right now. I don't know. I don't like going into the season where on your offensive line, your two weakest spots are left tackle and right tackle. That's a bad combination.
It's a bit of
you're playing in a very small box that way.
100%. It's going to be a problem that way.
Especially with an older, less mobile quarterback.
Yeah. No, man, we're in trouble in this season regardless, man.
Man, y'all keep hating on my quarterback, man. We're going to have to.
I have no energy to hate, man. I don't even give a shit about it, to be honest. I have much better things to do with my life and my time than to hate on somebody. I don't really even give a shit to hate.
Man. Fifth think I don't like Shador.
No, it's so funny. Whenever Fifth gets on you about Shador, it's the funniest thing.
So everybody is disgusted with Steele? Everybody gave up on Steele now?
Dude,
I gave up on Steele last year, man.
I gave up on him 2 years ago.
The year before last, actually.
I said he never should have got that contract. He never. We could have got Orlando Brown Jr. for $60 million.
Let's be honest. Anybody can replace Terrence Steele's his productivity, man. That guy he's gotten Dak killed at points, man. He's gonna get him killed this year if he continues to play this way. So,
Yeah.
So this Oregon that they just drafted is what is he 6'5", 2?
6'5", 320, 330. Johnny Cornelius.
Ooh.
But what threw me off with that pick, though, too, he was a right tackle in college, too. That's what kind of threw me off. But it was a late pick. But there was still a few left tackles on the board. I do like him, but it kind of just made me go like,
That just means they haven't given up on Tyler Guyton.
yeah,
That's what that means.
Yeah.
Does anybody like?
I mean, I can understand that. I can understand that with it just being 1 year that they don't want to give up on their first round draft pick after 1 year. You know, we as fans look at it differently. Like, fuck them. But I can see the GM.
Is this footwork? Is this footwork good though? I mean, to say still we don't want you back in 2026. Is how long we still got on this contract?
He could be cut next year.
who's Steele?
He
Yeah,
can be cut this year. They're just gonna have to eat a decent amount of money.
Yeah,
I don't think
His contract is not one of those crippling. If you cut him, all of a sudden now you got salary cap hell. You just don't want to pay somebody, over $10 million to be on somebody else's team.
How do you feel about him, Savage? How do you feel about this offensive tackle? He's from Harlem, New York, and he got a 33-inch wingspan.
he went to Rhode Island and then he went to Oregon. No, he has everything but a work. The only question in my mind is, I like him, but why did we draft another right tackle? So we basically got 3 right tackles on our team, but really no true left tackle at all.
That could mean you're getting rid of Steele, and then you got your starter in the backup.
yeah,
It's possible.
Yeah, no.
Let me see what Steele's actual number is.
Who is the other right tackle that you're talking about? You said got 3. So who are you talking about?
We got Steele and the kid Johnny Cornelius from Oregon that we drafted this year. He was a right tackle in college.
Okay, I'm watching film on him now.
Yeah, the cut Steele is $17 million.
Okay,
that's too much. That's too much to get rid of a player to have him on another team.
Oh, I am watching the highlights on this boy. He do got some bulldog in him though. This may be a pretty good pick though. You got to give him a chance in his preseason games. Are we excited for preseason football to see what our rookies can do, what our undrafted free agent can do? I'm excited. How do you feel? I'm excited. I'm excited. I don't know about y'all, but I'm excited.
Hey, you fell for the okie doke.
School's excited, baby. Yeah.
You fell for the okie doke. They got you.
Yeah,
I'm excited for all preseason games because I get to see the guys I just spoke about.
No,
that's why I get to see even the second stringers, third stringers that I normally won't see, and I get to see who I, like I said, spoke about and dropped films about. So I love preseason.
No, man, I'm not excited for nothing, man.
But Dallas never. Every other team at least plays a quarter,
right?
But not Dallas.
No, they use their first 2 games of the season to try to get their shit together, which is stupid.
It's always the problem with that, man.
Patrick Mahomes fucking plays. Tom Brady played.
Yeah, they always play.
These quarterbacks like that, they get afforded privileges that should only be reserved for like the Tom Brady's of the world and stuff.
But those are the ones that play all the fucking time.
Exactly.
So that Prescott no preseason.
He's not gonna play.
Oh no, he's not gonna play.
He's not gonna play the preseason.
No, not even close.
When was the last time he even played in the preseason?
Before 2020.
Yeah, it was before his 4th year, right? So
yeah.
So there you go.
Would be something if he came out, play 1 preseason, half to show everybody he is.
You need more than that, man. They need a full fucking preseason game. Stop bullshitting around. Stop playing around. You got a new head coach, new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator. All of these new fucking players coming in. Get on the fucking field and get your shit together.
Yep.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. And stop babying them, right?
Yeah, man. Fuck these players, man. $60 million. Get your ass out there and take a hit.
Yeah,
What
man.
the fuck, man.
Yep. Unfortunately, I don't see that in a world where Dak is going to play this preseason. I don't see that happening. I would love it. I don't think that's going to happen.
You go out there
If,
with
if
kid gloves on like they did fucking Aaron Rodgers, and then the 3
Right.
plays in, fucking tear your Achilles, man. You can't
Yeah.
pay fucking players, man.
No, for sure.
so
For sure.
him not playing the preseason, will that they need a core going? They need a chemistry going to get everything ready. Him not playing, will that fuck up that core like he was saying, Center? Would that?
Yeah, it's gonna take them a couple weeks, but that's been the norm for I don't know how fucking long.
It's
Dallas
been
always
And this is why when I'm looking at the schedule, when the schedule comes out on the 14th, I might change the amount of games because those first 2 games are going to be toss-ups. So
yeah.
even if we predicted it's going to be a team that they're going to win against, like let's say you open the season up against the Chargers, I think they can beat them if it's week 8. But week 1, they probably lose that game.
I agree. It's going to be a toss up for me as well.
How do you feel, Savage?
we always start slow. It takes us 4 to 5 games to get going.
Yeah.
It takes us 4 to 5 games for chemistry.
Dude, you can literally look at any season, maybe with the exception of last year, it's almost carbon copy the way that these seasons play out. We struggle to start the season. We'll lose game 1. They'll come back game 2 or 3 or maybe 4. They'll get their heads get big. They'll get smacked in the mouth by somebody. And then the rest of the season is going to be very much inconsistent. If we make the playoffs, on an off chance we make the playoffs, we get smacked in the mouth. That's always been the case. Last year was the only exception to that.
And
even when we went 12 games, it was like that.
I said it last year, and I'll say it again this year. When you have a young offensive line, it takes time for there to be chemistry. Because when you play offensive line, you have to. Okay, you're a wide receiver. You know what route you got to run. When you have an offensive lineman, you have to know what every other lineman, not only what you got to do, you have to know
pass it off blocks.
You have to know what every other one's job is. And then like you have turnstiles or kids coming in and out. Sometimes it takes 2-3 years to get that chemistry. Absolutely. And then when you're walking up to the line of scrimmage, all you gotta do is give your guard, give a wink, and boom, you're on the same page. But that takes time.
Agreed.
Takes time.
And you gotta hope for health. That's the unpredictable part.
Yeah.
Everybody's got to stay healthy.
Yeah. And you say that, and listen, I know like Dak got hurt, but let's be honest, man. The last couple of years, we've been a pretty healthy team, kind of. Besides Diggs, Diggs is Diggs, and Diggs and but like up front, we really haven't had any injuries at all up front. We've been extremely lucky, But I remember one week the Ravens, they lost 3 running backs in 1 week.
Yeah, those are all ACL.
That's why, you got to have running backs on your practice squad that can step in, man. It's like
Yeah.
But this old line, you get 1 or 2 injuries, it's over, man. Over.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you can say that about every single position group that we have because our depth is shit.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys this question. When they drop the offensive lineman out of if you play on the left side, you move to the right side, or the right side to the left side, is that a mentality issue with the offensive lineman? Does he have trouble?
He would absolutely.
I think only in the tackle position, really. The inside trenches guy, it's very similar. That's why guards can transition to centers and shit like that, because inside you're playing in a smaller box. On the outside, you got to be able to play out in space.
I'm showing my age, but I remember as a kid, Notre Dame was famous. They would move their right guard and right tackle, whatever play it was. One play, the right guard and right tackle would be on the right side. The next play, he'd be playing left tackle and left guard. So they would put their 2 best linemen on one side and then run to the power. It didn't matter. They would flip-flop.
Yeah.
Every different play.
That's
So,
special.
Yeah.
So is that going to hurt the team this year? I mean, I don't understand this because Guyton, he was drafted as a right tackle. He played his whole college, but then he got over there straight on the left side. Is there an issue this year or what? I don't understand why they're doing this. So how do y'all feel? What's going on?
Same shit.
Yeah. But that's why.
How you feel about this, Gabby?
it was a bad move to begin with. I mean,
Yeah.
You don't
draft
draft a
a kid,
project in the first round.
yeah, you don't. And then even better, you don't pay a guy, $250 million guaranteed, and then you put that project to
On his blind side.
Yeah.
protect his blind side. That's like having a Rolls Royce and getting like $10 retread tires on it. It just it didn't make sense from day one.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
And he's getting killed this year, man. A lot of the coaches are not liking what they see from him.
Yeah.
Tyler Guy.
Wow.
You know,
So that was a mistake putting him on the left side. So are you
It's a
continue to
mistake
put him?
drafting his ass.
Oh no, couple sense, sir.
That's that y'all trying to find somewhere to put a fucking mausoleum in a fucking trailer. It don't fit. Tyler Guyton should have never even been fucking drafted by this thing.
Wow. Why you say? I mean, I
Because
heard your analogy, but
he's a right tackle. You had still under contract for at least 2 years at the
mhm,
time you drafted him. You needed a bona fide left tackle. Can't miss. I needed to work. You were replacing Tyron Smith.
right.
They were better off paying Tyron Smith to stay last year than they were with Guyton. I've never seen a first round offensive lineman getting benched multiple times in the middle of games.
like
Right.
Dover,
Yeah.
no less.
That's when I was really taken aback when they benched him in the middle of the game like that. I'll be honest.
They did it multiple times.
Multiple times, exactly. I was very, very surprised when they did that. It took
You
me off
don't.
guard.
No, I'll take that back. I have never seen first round draft picks like Molly Smith and Tyler Guyton that constantly got benched in games.
Right.
That's exactly where I am too. Yeah, I
Oh.
didn't expect that. Yeah.
Your first round draft pick has to be a day one starter. You're going to deal with issues as they learn the NFL, get used to the speed and how to be a professional, but not benched. You get cornerbacks that get toasted the first half of the season, and they don't get pulled.
Yep.
So how bad are they at their position that they get pulled? It is unheard of for an offensive lineman to get pulled from that play. They let fucking what's his name down in Atlanta destroy.
What's up, cool cowboy?
What's up?
Yo, what's up, everybody?
What's up, man? How are you?
I'm out the
How
O
are
line.
y'all
Right.
guys?
Go ahead, Sense. Finish. I mean, go ahead, Sense. Finish off on guys real quick.
Like they let cheap up fucking be a touchdown.
Is he breaking up for you guys?
Got sacked like 9 times.
Do you have your mic plugging all the way? Because your voice is breaking up.
I mean, I'm not in my backyard.
Oh.
Fucking Wi-Fi. That's probably too far from the router.
The problem with the Guyton was we traded back like 5 slots. So Dallas was happy with 5 guys as long as they got one of them. It just went that 4 of them went, and Mozzie and Tyler Guyton was that last guy they had, and they took him in round 5. Took him in round 1.
Right.
Sometimes when you trade back, and you can say, "Yeah, I can live with any one of these 5," but two or three out of those 5 are going to be much better. But they got cute, traded back, and offensive lineman went, and then Guyton was the next best offensive lineman, and they figured, okay, well, we put Tyron Smith to left tackle, a decade ago. We could do it with this kid, and it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Well, the difference between that, though, is Tyron was a top 10 pick.
Absolutely.
Like this guy, bro, he was considered a project.
Tyron went 9 and JJ Watt went 10. I don't think we could have went wrong with any one of those.
Yeah, no, you couldn't.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean,
And then, just based off of history of our defense, I would rather have
Oh, Uncensored, you're still breaking up, man.
Uncensored, we can't hear you well.
Yeah, we seriously can't hear you. Okay, we're not just saying that.
No, we're not messing with you. I'm being serious.
It's
You know.
Hey man, OG man, guys, I gotta bounce. I got some stuff I gotta handle, but thanks for letting me on the show, man. I'll catch you guys, man.
Okay, thanks for popping over
Peace
there.
out, OG.
Yeah, man.
You got a date, Eshawn?
Nah, dude, I got what? I have a film I'm producing in August, September, something like that. So
Okay.
I literally just got off of a film and now I'm jumping up back on a film. So like,
Hey, Eshawn, can you put your number in the chat for me so I can text you? I gotta ask you a question.
sure, man, I got you. You
Okay.
don't have my number? We were at the group chat. I thought.
I don't know if you in the group chat, but I don't know if you.
I just never replied, man. That's it. I just don't say anything.
I don't have you in the group chat.
I'm 100% in the group chat. Believe me, I get all your 100 and fucking million messages every day.
Okay. Did you get the one today talking about Dart?
What happened?
Did you get the one today talking about Dart? The Giants drafted the quarterback.
I'll have to look and see. I'm not sure. I get a lot of messages, man. So like, I have to see. But anyway, I'll catch you guys, man.
later, bro.
Okay, man. God bless you. Have a good day. Yeah. So guiding the left side plan continue this year. So that's what we're gonna see in this year, basically. What y'all saying?
Listen, I've been saying it, man. Don't be shocked. Next year we drafting another offensive tackle. Don't be shocked.
In the first
And then if
round.
they cut Steele too, they'll have to draft the tackle.
Yeah, 100%.
Because they're gonna move probably got into right tackle. If he doesn't work out, a left tackle, and then draft a left tackle next year.
Yeah.
So what? Just cut? What we're gonna do with Guyton? We just gonna cut Guyton or what? We down with him or what? What's up?
No, we're gonna switch him to right tackle.
We'll switch him to right tackle as the last hoorah to save his career.
Exactly.
He said, "Hoorah." Good
No,
analogy.
listen. We went through a series of hitting on offensive linemen, but
Right.
you're gonna have hiccups in the road, or sometimes you're gonna draft an offensive lineman and he's gonna be a bust. Dallas fans just got what's the word I'm looking for?
Spoiled.
Spoiled. There you go. With all of our offensive line picks that were great. Listen, all good things come to an end, man. And
Right.
now you got no left tackle, bro. So
basically, what you're saying is Dak Prescott could get killed on the left side again with Terrence Steele over there starting the season. Could be an injury if he's not careful. Is that what y'all saying?
I don't think Dak Prescott's going to get a season-ending injury this year.
With our fingers crossed in the player in the middle.
I just don't think it's going to happen. Season-ending injuries don't usually happen back-to-back like that.
Let me ask you this: Is Terrence Guyton his footwork so bad that Guyton? I'm sorry, I might have said the first name wrong, but Guyton, his footwork so bad that we're that disappointed with him. Savage.
You got to talk to your scouts, man. The kid only played 13 games in offensive line. He went to 2 colleges and he played tight end a couple of his snaps,
Right,
as a blocking tight end. And then he went to Oklahoma and he played only 13 games, man. I'm sorry, like that doesn't ring, questions in your head. But like I said, it's on the Dallas Cowboy channel. Like he was one of the 30 for 30 visits, and he's sitting in a room with like 30 scouts and coaches. And the coach goes, well, scout, I don't even know who he was. He goes, bro, you're 6'8", your arms hang down to the floor. You're 330, you're this, you're that, you're this, you're that, you're this, you're that. Why'd you only start 13 games in college? And
right.
his response was, I was immature. So now I have to look at it too. So now you hand that kid a big old bag of money. His maturity is gonna You know, he's going to become mature. Usually, you have to hit. Sadly, a lot of times you got to hit rock bottom before you actually realize. You know, ironically, and I just going to say it and drop it. George Pickens is saying the exact same thing now.
Yep.
He's saying George Pickens was saying I was immature in college, immature in Pittsburgh, but Dallas is going to make me mature. If you know. I can sell you some. Yeah.
Are you drinking the Kool-Aid?
Hell no.
I don't think anyone's drinking the Kool-Aid on Gaiden, bro. We got to see it to believe it. Because let's be honest, that was rough. It wasn't Chaz Green level bad, but it was close.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that was a reach. What y'all saying?
Yeah, I don't know if you guys remember him. I wanted either Jackson Powers Johnson or Wyatt Mullum instead.
Why?
Or not Wyatt Mullum. Who's the other guy? No, not Wyatt.
What?
I forgot his name, but he was for West Virginia. He was a guard.
Okay.
No,
those are the guys I
wanted. You have the right name. It was the center.
Yeah.
Nate, what is so good about this guy you won?
Frazier was on the board. Graham Barton was on the board from Duke. He went to he slid right in.
He went to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah, slid in. So like I said, when we traded back, like 3 offensive linemen did go off the board.
Also the Arizona kid, I forgot his name. He went to the Packers.
Jordan
Morgan, that's his name.
This is the problem that you have when you end up drafting based off of need versus best player available.
Thank you.
You have to reach sometimes because you need certain positions. Instead, if you constantly do best player available, it is very hard to fuck up.
The problem is though they force themselves in these situations because they don't do anything in free agency.
They're going to regret Tyler Warren not taking Tyler Warren. They're going to regret that.
Yeah, they will 100%. Because the thing is with these dudes is that they like I said, they don't spend any money in free agency, so they have to fill all their needs for the draft, and that causes them to reach, which gets them in trouble.
Yeah. They don't have no money to spend in free agency. You gave them a man $250 million.
Well, that was before that contract, though. That's
just last year. This has been an ongoing problem for 3 decades.
Yeah, exactly. That's a this year problem. Because Dak Prescott got extended the day of the Browns game. I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah,
he got extended 2 days before the season started.
Right.
Because what's his name? Jerry Jones tried to steal the NFL kickoff thunder because the kickoff was on Thursday.
All right. So this is the deal. This is what happened. In 2024, we had the 24th overall pick. Detroit called us. They traded. He sucks. They traded up and they took this kid Temian Arnold, corner from at Bama. Bro, the kid's gross. So the next pick, Green Bay took Jordan Morgan, offensive tackle, Arizona. Next pick, Tampa took Graham Barton, who had center, guard, and tackle flexibility. He went to Tampa Bay. Then 3, Arizona. I love Darius Robertson from Kentucky. Some people had him as edge. To me, I'd throw him inside. He was huge. Then Xavier Worthy went to the Chiefs at 28. Then we took Tyler Guyton. Then after that was Nate Wiggins, Ricky Parcel, Xavier Leggett. So those two. Listen, I had those 2 guys, 2 offensive tackles rated higher than Guyton. But in the same token, like I said, I only could scout what I saw with Guyton, and all I saw was right tackle. You know what I'm trying to say? So it didn't even make sense.
Right.
Then round 2, what do we do round 2? What do we do?
You got Marshawn Kneeland, bro, who hasn't done anything.
Yeah, Patrick Paul went 1 pick earlier, bro. I loved him from Houston. So we took Marshawn Kneeland, and then
Marshawn Kneeland is to replace D-Law.
Basically, yep.
That's why we
Yeah.
brought him.
After that, you had Blake Fisher,
Pass.
Roger Rosengarten, who basically started every game for the Ravens. Then you got the great Kingsley Sumalata from BYU, who I hate BYU.
Oh, that D tackle, right?
No, offensive tackle.
Oh, okay.
He's a freak. He was jumping out of a pool like onto the side, but I just don't like BYU lineman. But you know,
He hasn't been good. I heard
That's
though.
that
Kingsley.
that's an irrelevant skill for an offensive lineman. They be doing the dumbest shit.
No, yeah, the BYU O line guy, he got replaced. I'm pretty sure in this year's draft because I heard he was really bad.
Let me ask y'all this question. There was a mistake putting Tyler. As we all agree that putting Tyler Guy
It
on
sounds
the
like you
left side.
swallowing your. It sounds like you swallowing your mic, bro.
Is that better?
A little bit.
I got a headpiece. Hold on, I got it. Guy on the left side needs to be on the right side. Booker is on the right. Booker was on the right side. Going
What
to
the
the.
hell
I'm
was
sorry.
that?
Booker was a left guard.
That was me. Booker's a left guard. Going over to the right guard. Is that going to hurt Booker and show that he's not capable of being on the right side? How do y'all feel about that? Is that a problem?
Not in my world.
Nah, he'll be fine.
I think Booker will be fine. I just think I just wish we didn't pick him at 12, bro. That like there was better players on the board. Tyler
There was
Warren was staring at us.
there was
I
quite a few
thought for
better.
sure he was gonna go top 10.
Yeah, none of us thought.
None of us thought he'd be there.
None of us thought Tyler Warren.
And nobody thought he'd be the second one off the board either.
Yeah,
The
the
Saints-
Bears, they fucked up really
Yeah,
bad. I bet you they're gonna
Bears
regret
took it
that.
differently.
They're taking Colston Loveland. That was a joke, man.
They're gonna regret that. I'm telling you right now. And we are too.
So this
Regret what?
is
What is
this
gonna
is
regret,
probably
Nate?
this is probably where these interviews and these things come into play. When they sat down with him, they had a better interview than what Warren did.
Hold on.
Were the Cowboys even interested in Warren though? Did they?
I don't
bring
think
him?
they thought he would be there. I don't even think they even considered it.
Hold on, Sensei. Nate, what do you mean they're gonna regret it? Elaborate on that, Nate.
I'm not Nate, bro.
Wait a minute. I got the chat wrong. Mr. Cool Cowboys, Cool Cowboys.
Yeah. So basically, I said that the Cowboys are gonna regret it because I think Tyler Warren, he's gonna be a great tight end for the next 10 years. He's gonna be able to help with the run game, blocking wise, and he can catch, and he can even run out the backfield. Like he's a do-it-all, jack of all trades tight end, and we passed up on him.
Well, don't you got that in Schoolmaker?
Hell no. Well,
No, Schoolmaker, I don't think he's gonna be anything. He's already like 26 years old or so, and he hasn't done anything really.
Schoolmaker was targeted 36 times last season.
No, Schoolmaker is gonna be a backup, bro, for the rest of his career, bro.
And his
Is
career's
Ferguson
gonna be very short too.
Is Ferguson a blocking tight end off the backfield catch? I mean, that is he is Dak Prescott's main man. So what we gonna if we would have got Tyler, what are we gonna do with Ferguson? How's Tyler gonna get a game over two tight ends?
Ferguson is a free agent next year.
Ferguson's a free agent. We could have replaced him early.
Could have just moved on.
So
Because
what
here's
do
the
we
thing:
do?
we never replace our players until after the fact. It would have been nice to replace them early.
yep.
Okay, but what I'm talking about 25. I mean, is he gonna get snaps over what we have now?
You could have did just what the Steelers just did with Pickens, and you could have traded him. You could have traded Ferguson for a pick because you got Tyler Warren, and you could have got some draft capital.
Okay.
They wait for everything to expire to do something about it.
They're not proactive.
They are lazy as fuck, man.
They're not proactive at all, bro.
So that's what it is. So they get out of the draft. So they traded away the Trey Lance pick and also the Mingo pick in the 4th round.
Say it right. It's Minga.
Minga. So in the fourth round of 2025 draft, so they can go eat barbecue and take the whole fourth round off to eat and get. Is that what it is? Is that a part of being lazy, or they're not a? That's what I mean.
No, they when I say they are lazy, is they take the simplest and easiest route to solve all their problems. They don't want to get in early and start negotiations with these players a year and a half early and get deals worked out. They rather wait for their back is against the wall, a deal has to be done, and we just go get it done in a 2 month span. Like right now, if they had brought in Tyler Warren, you could have started calling teams up that needs tight ends. Say, hey, we got Ferguson, we got teams calling. What are you offering? A fourth, a third, or whatever.
Right.
And you can move on from him because you've already drafted his replacement. Why didn't we have why didn't we have a replacement already on the staff for Tyron Smith, who was missing over half the season every single year? They waited
Right.
until he was gone to try to put somebody in here. We didn't have anybody to replace Zach Martin. We don't have anybody to replace Terrence Steele.
Yeah. Right.
You didn't until Pickens came. You really didn't have anybody to replace CD Lamb if they couldn't get a contract work last year.
Right.
But that's what Dallas does every year. They go into the draft with no one at that position. Everyone knows where they're going because
Right.
they just make it so obvious.
It's a huge disadvantage
That's why I have
because
zero respect for the Jones.
other teams can leverage that because they know what you need.
Right.
The year we took Boss Man Fats, 3 teams traded ahead of us and grabbed the safety.
Right.
3 teams traded ahead of us.
They don't
You know
value
what
the
we're
safety
gonna
in
do.
Dallas. They don't value it at all.
No, they don't. No.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying next year, if we got like a top 10 pick, Caleb Downs was there, they wouldn't pick him because they don't like safeties. Even though we need a safety
They're
because
not
Malik
taking a
Tucker sucks.
safety in the top of the draft.
Who was
They're
Caleb
never
Downs?
going to
Who he play for?
Ohio State.
You can have Ronnie
Okay.
Lott and Ed Reed in the draft, and they won't take him at the top of the draft. They just don't value the position.
Yo, but you say that we took Roy Williams instead of Ed Reed.
Right.
That still makes me want to vomit.
Yeah,
That was 20 years ago, though. They haven't done that since.
that was Mr.
I
Here
don't
Comes
care
the
if it was-
Boom.
It was still.
And they messed up on the Randy Moss trade. That
That was
draft
like
too, right?
2006, 2007.
Well, they messed up on the Randy Moss draft, right?
No, Roy Williams
That
was
was
like 2001.
that was Bill Parcells era.
Yeah.
No, you talking
Bill
about the
Parcells
receiver.
was-
You talking about the receiver, Roy Williams, aren't you?
No, I'm talking about the safety.
The safety.
No, the
was
safety
during
was
Bill
in 2001.
Okay,
I swore
well,
that was Bill Parcells.
so
Bill
2001.
Parcells was here 2005, wasn't he?
I don't know, but all I know is Roy Williams and Ed Reed came out in the same. They were both first round picks. Ed Reed was like in the 20s, and we took Roy Williams like around between 8 and 12. We actually traded back. You know, Dallas loves getting cute. They traded back and they picked up Roy Williams and
2002 draft.
2002 draft. And Ed
2000
Reed.
to 2008.
Ed
2002,
Reed went in the
2008.
20s, man. Yo, I can write a book about Parcells' bad draft picks. A book.
Oh, yeah.
You can write a book about the Cowboys' bad draft picks. We don't even have to look
Right.
that far. We
Yeah,
passed
but
up on TJ Watt.
Yeah, but the problem is everybody tried to make it seem because Bill Parcells said if you want me to cook the dinner, I got to at least shop for the groceries. He
Right.
had everybody thinking that he was just some like draft guru talent evaluator.
He was all right. I mean, he was. He let's be honest. He should have never been like a full-time scout, though.
Let me
Because
ask
for
you
every
this.
pick he had, for every miss he had, he did have like a good pick, but it was just so inconsistent with him.
Two words: Bobby Carpenter.
Right.
First round draft pick, Bobby Carpenter.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah,
because
that's
his dad played for him as a
Nepotism.
fullback.
Nepotism.
Yeah.
I don't even think he ever started a game for Dallas, Bobby Carpenter.
Fast forward. How do y'all feel
Nah,
about
he
offensive
started.
line?
He started, but I don't think he played any on another team after Dallas.
How we feel about the offensive line right now? Fast forward to 25. Savage.
The offensive line you're talking about.
Yeah, as of now going to training camp, how do we feel about this offensive line this year? Have we gotten better from last year?
We have 3 question marks. We got question marks at both tackles and right guard. I mean, I think Booker should be able to get by, at least holding people. I mean, you know what I'm trying to say?
Whoa, hold it.
Island kind of guy. So he should be able to get by. It's just like when I talk bad about him, it's just like that value was not worth the 12th pick of the draft. And especially he was at the BPA. And then if you saw the guards that went in round 2, round 3, but Dallas doesn't draft BPA. Dallas drafts strictly for needs. And more times than not, you get burnt that way. You get burnt.
By the way, Bobby Carpenter was our starting linebacker from 2006 to 2009. Starting.
Say that again?
Bobby Carpenter was our starting linebacker from 2006 to 2009.
He sucked.
Drafted his ass 18th overall. 18th.
See, I wasn't even watching football. I was barely born, but I remember like looking at him, bro, like after when I got older, and bro, no one said anything good about him. He must have been booty.
I was at training camp with Bobby Carpenter, and I sat next to him. We were in the friends and family area. So you know how on the field, the long part of the field is where the regular guests go, and then they have a cage on the basketball court where all the friends and family go. And so we was in there, and I was sitting in there next to Bobby Carpenter. I'll tell you right now, I'm big. I was bigger than him.
He wasn't a big kid. Yo, there was one of the hard knocks we was in. It was funny as hell. Like him and Colombo were talking shit. Like Bobby was like blitzing when he shouldn't have. And Colombo's like, bro, you do that again, I'm going to knock you out. And Bobby Carpenter did it again. And Colombo just, boom, laid him right out. I got a lot of respect that day for Mark Colombo.
Yeah, we don't have no nasty players on our team anymore.
Right.
But that's the NFL. Like in AEW, they call it all friends wrestling. In the NFL, I call it all friends football. I'm gonna have somebody from another team's jersey behind my back. I would use it outside my door to wipe my feet on, man. Come on, man. These guys are all friends, man.
They're all friends.
All friends.
Yeah, you're right about that.
And the problem is too,
they're entrepreneurs.
a lot of them play at the same colleges too, and they go to different teams, and they're still like all buddy.
Yeah.
Because like for example, like CeeDee Lamb and Kyler Murray both went to Oklahoma, and they're probably still friends to this day.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no rivalry anymore, really.
Free agency ruined it because you could be budding rivals today and then teammates tomorrow. And that shit just and they will trade you within your division. Like I was telling earlier before y'all jumped on, it was just me, Eshawn, and OG. Cooper Kupp went from the Rams to the Seahawks. That would have never happened in the early 90s. Never.
The only exception was Deion.
But Deion didn't go to a divisional.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're right.
Right.
It just nowadays like it's not impossible for like Dallas. Dallas made a trade with the Eagles in the draft. What the fuck?
We made a trade with the Giants last year for a defensive tackle, and we fucking cut him.
Man.
And then he went back to Buffalo.
That shit never happened, man.
We could have signed him in free agency and give up nothing. Yet he goes to the Giants to get Jordan Phillips. We trade for him, cut him after 2 games, and then he goes right back up to Buffalo. Bro, the team is run like, bro, it's a joke. It's a joke, bro.
Right.
But they should have never traded. They should have just accepted it was going to be a lost season, not try to patch these holes with Band-Aids, bro.
Because the fan base will not take we're in a full rebuild. They won't.
Nope.
They won't.
They use fancy words like retool and shit like that.
Look what San Fran did. They did like their first 6 picks on defense.
They revamped it, bro.
That's how.
because
He
they
did a
they
really good job.
understand
Yeah.
they understand they have a limited quarterback, that they have to have a strong defense and run game.
And
They understand how to do it.
young and cheap players.
Yes,
I'm
because your
sorry.
quarterback got to take the fucking bait.
I'm sorry. I don't give Purdy that much that big bag. I don't.
I don't either, but that's what they
They
gonna
should
do.
probably just release him and let him go to free agency and get a new
But
quarterback.
Purdy is a style of quarterback that works well in his offense. Purdy doesn't make the mistakes that a Dak Prescott and that a Lamar Jackson does when the lights are on.
He's
Right.
just a game manager that performs well in the playoffs.
But that's all you need.
That's
That's
pretty
all
much
you need.
that's all you need. And a great defense, man.
That's
The
what
problem
Jalen
is though,
Hurts
when he
is.
gets all that money, they won't be able to put more talent around him.
That's what they
Exactly.
did. That's why they just dumped. That's why they dumped Devo and Greenlaw and all of those players to make room for Purdy.
But everybody started complaining. Say, hey, look, I gotta go. I'm not gonna get paid because of this guy.
Yeah, but that's why they drafted. Like you said, they just did a heavy defensive draft to replace those players and rebuild. You got like I was saying over the draft weekend. Draft with purpose. The Steelers said they wanted to get bigger, stronger, tougher up front. That's all they focused on.
Pretty much.
Dallas was like, give me a quarterback, give me a linebacker, give me a running back, give me a guard. It's all over the fucking place. There's
That's
no purpose.
yeah. There's that you can't
So
build.
San Fran they went Malik Williams edge first. Second, they went Alfred Collins, D tackle. Third, they went linebacker from Oklahoma.
Defense,
They
defense,
had
defense.
they had another third round pick on defensive back from Western Kentucky. Fourth round, goddamn, a D tackle from
Defense.
Indiana. The guy that I want was a hog. I thought it was bad. The fourth round pick was Ole Miss wide receiver. And the fifth round pick running back from Oregon, and then the fifth round pick again they went to DB and Indiana quarterback. They loaded up on defense this year.
Defense. They draft with
Yeah,
purpose.
Yeah.
yeah.
You got to
Within two
draft with
years.
purpose, man.
Within
I
2
think the
years.
corners will be back to being good in no time.
Within 2
Yep.
years they will be.
The
They'll be right back.
The Rams traded away all their fucking picks, won a Super Bowl, and are back in the playoffs 2 years later, 3 years later.
They're a good organization.
I love when people say, "Oh, day 3 is throwing darts." I don't know, man. Rams are pretty good at darts, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rams are pretty good at darts.
I mean, statistically, most day 3 drafts don't make the team. You know what I mean? But the really good organizations find the diamonds in the rough.
Right.
Dallas is better at undrafted free agents than they are at day 3.
Honestly, out of every free agent we signed, I only like the one kid, Clark, the safety out of Syracuse.
Yeah.
Legit.
You don't like Childress?
No. I like Clark. I had Clark. Clark was, I think, maybe 15. I had him ranked 16th, I think, maybe.
Man, the one guy I also listen. I know everyone likes not everyone, but the majority of the fans like the Donovan Ezraku pick. You know who I wanted, bro? I forgot his name, but the Ohio State kid went right after. I wish we got him. I wish we had him instead.
That's who because I thought we were gonna. See, this is what blows my mind. We were told we need to get bigger, we need to get stronger. JT Tuimoloau from Ohio State was right there, 6'5", 270. He had 13 sacks in 2024. He had 10 sacks in 2023. In 2023, he beat Penn State single-handedly. So now he's an edge, 6'5", 270, sitting right there. Yet we take Ezraku. I had 5 edges on the board ahead of Desiraku.
Who else besides JT did you have in front of him? If you can remember.
I haven't put my books away yet.
So Philly, they went linebacker. They went. Where they go? Edge. I think they're gonna be good again.
Well,
Philly's gonna be good for a while.
Yeah, Philly. They went with. Let me see. I gotta see this again. Linebacker from Alabama.
You had Campbell.
Yeah, Eli Campbell. Then they went with another defensive player, some boy out of who is this from Texas? I think he's a defensive. What is he? A defensive back?
Safety
Oh,
McCumber.
Andrew. Yeah. That's another defensive player, and then another D tackle from Wisconsin, Robinson.
No,
Damn.
that's Nebraska. Ty Robinson.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah,
Poor
Nebraska.
man's J.J. Watt.
And then they went another pick, Mac Williams. I think he's a defensive back. I think there's a defensive back there. So they know what they're doing. And another defensive player, another cornerback from out of Georgia, Samuel
Samuel
Molden.
Muldoon. And
Yeah,
they
God
drafted
damn.
2 more offensive linemen.
Wait a minute, he's 6'2", 220. What is he, a linebacker? More pass, strong side ball. Oh, he's a linebacker. Oh yeah, we in trouble. They got another linebacker. They got two linebackers.
They got Cameron Williams, Texas right guard. The kid's a goon. They took.
So who is this here? So Philly knows what they're doing in the office. And
You think?
check. Yeah.
Hold on.
So basically, we're in trouble. What did the Giants do?
We're not in trouble, brother.
Huh?
We're not
They're
in
in
trouble.
trouble. Fuck them.
We
You
ain't
want
in
to know why?
trouble.
You
I
want to
don't
know why
care.
we're not in trouble? The number one
Uh,
reason why we're not in trouble is because we weren't doing shit this year anyway.
right.
The trouble season was last year. That was the year when everything fucking fell apart.
That was when the
Right.
house of cards crumbled.
They left parts scattered up and down the runway. It's gonna take a while to put the plane back together, man.
All right, edges.
We ain't even got a fucking pilot.
All right, when we took Irazuku, whatever the hell his name is, Donovan Irazuko,
Yeah.
I had Landon Jackson on the board still. I had Mike Green, Marshall. I had Jack Sawyer on the board. I had JT Tuma Aloha. He would have been my pick. Then I also had Josiah Stewart, Michigan, higher than him. I had Donovan Zivaraku at 10. Because, like, you know what I'm trying to say? I do the drafts, but I thought we needed to get bigger and more physical and stop the run. Yet every single one of our edges is 6'2", 250. So,
Right.
like I said, even there was so many more bigger edges out there. You know what I'm trying to say? I mean, it's
So this guy
Why would we draft an edge that's the same size as Michael Parsons, bro? This shit makes no sense.
Howell Ryland, I loved, and Philly took. No one talked about him because he only had 16 and a half sacks, and Philly took him like in round 5, bro. I'm telling you, that pick pissed me the fuck off, man.
Philadelphia, dude. As long as they have Howie Roseman, I don't think, even if they have down years, they'll go right back up, bro.
Yeah.
Like, as long as they have the same regime, they're never gonna be like down for too long. These guys know how they know they're playing chess and we're playing checkers, bro.
No,
So running off. Go ahead, Savage.
Dallas Cowboys don't care about football. They care about money. Everything he does turns to gold. You know what I'm trying to say? So why should he change? Why should Jerry change? He sits back and he laughs at the fan base. 80,000 people at the preseason games, bro. That's unheard of. Unheard of. You know, we haven't won shit in 30 years, and people are gonna pay to come watch spring training, spring practice.
And his camp is sold out, and they charging what $100, $200 getting there to watch this shit. Like, what the fuck?
I wouldn't go there if you paid me $100.
I thought it was. Why did I think it was free?
So, like, there's some sections that are free. Then there's like other sections where I guess you can get upgraded. You know, you can
Probably
get
better
closer
view.
to Mozzie Smith. You know, shut up, man.
Well, that's what I said earlier this season. I said they don't pick one side of the ball and get strong on that side. They wishy washy. Tight end here, defensive back here, a linebacker here, offensive guard, a wide receiver. They don't pick one side of the ball and stay strong. It's always like, what the fuck are you doing?
That's what happens when Jerry and Stephen Jones have final say of who gets drafted. If anyone thinks it's Will McClay, listen, I'm no Will McClay fan, but I'm not going to put 100% of it on him. No way.
It's not
His
all Will
grandkids have more
McClay,
influence than Will
but Will
McClay.
McClay is the head of scouting.
Yeah.
Jerry
Right.
Jones and them do not. They are in charge of bringing the top talent to Jerry for Jerry to make a decision out of.
Right.
Jerry Jones is not out there scouting the defensive tackle for Michigan.
Right.
They brought that talent to Jerry Jones and then said, "All right, these is who we think are the top players." And then Jerry Jones decided out of the whatever the pool was. That's my problem with Will McClay, is that they can't scout.
Right.
Whoever scouts for Michigan and LSU for us should be fired.
Especially LSU. Though. LSU produces studs every single year.
Just
Who's that?
LSU is one of the best at producing NFL draft picks, and we
just
can't get a
picked the
single one
wrong
right.
We picked the wrong one.
This shit sucks, bro.
Yeah. So what did Washington do this year? I mean, did they do okay this year in the draft?
Yeah, they got an offensive tackle out of Oregon. I forgot his name. I'm blanking on his name. Let me look it up.
It's another player to put Parsons on his ass.
Okay,
So,
probably.
so okay, see, Connolly, offensive tackle from Oregon. Round two, they went with a cornerback from Ole Miss, Trey Amos. Round three, they didn't have a third round pick. They went to
Trey Amos, by the way, not to
Yeah.
interrupt you, but Trey Amos would have been better than the Revel pick by a huge margin.
Why you say that?
He wasn't injured. Revel got injured last year. Also, he's more physical than Revel.
Is that the cornerback that Dallas got?
No, that's the cornerback that Washington got.
Okay. Then they went linebacker for UCLA. I like that kid. He's a tackle machine. And then they went running back from Arizona. Oh, I thought he went to the Giants, but wait a minute. That's what Savage was saying, that if once Washington get a running back, they're gonna be fucking really good. Don't you say Savage like this year for a draft start? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I've said that a lot. Yeah.
Okay. So this running back, does it remind you of what's that kid out of McCaffrey from the San Francisco?
Does who remind me?
This running back from Washington, from Arizona. He played at Arizona.
No, not. I'm not a fan of the kid. He's not that big. He has small hands. He fumbled 10 times in 2 years.
Marriott. You're talking about Marriott, right?
No, you're talking about Cam Scatterboom. That's who you're talking about, correct?
Who was this running back that Washington guys? The Marriott is a fifth, seventh round pick out of Arizona.
Oh, Jakari Krasky Merritt. No, he started at Alabama State. Then he went to New Mexico, went off. Then he went to Arizona, played one game, had eligibility issues, went off, and then he couldn't play the rest of the year. So then he had like 6 months to train for the Senior Bowl or the East-West Shrine. I think it was the East-West Shrine game he went to. So he had 6 months to train for the East-West Shrine games, and then he went off there. Yet you had kids coming that played games 2 weeks ago. So he's a wild card. I think he was in my late teens as a running back.
Okay. I got him mixed up. Who's that Arizona running back that was pretty good kid, white kid who was strong. Is that who the Giants picked up?
Yes.
Okay, God damn, he's gonna be a handful. So actually, so did everybody in our division get better? Is that what y'all trying to say? I mean, are
We're
we
probably
just
going to be last in the division if the Giants quarterback plays good.
you referring to
If
Doug?
he's trash, we'll be third. But we're definitely not going to be any higher than that.
Are you talking about Dark or are you talking about Russell?
I'm talking about Dar. I think what they're gonna do with the Giants, they're gonna have Russell Wilson start off the season being the starter,
Mhm.
and then they'll little by little implement Dar in the system.
Okay, so basically everybody's got a quarterback now. Washington got a quarterback. The Giants got a quarterback if Dart works out, and Philly has a good quarterback. So what does that
Hey,
leave us? Are we in trouble there?
OG, I got to bounce, man.
Yeah, me too. I gotta go real quick. My
You out
dog.
here? Okay.
My dogs.
Are you out here? All right. So cool, Cowboy. You still here?
Yeah,
All right. So we're gonna go a little bit longer. We're gonna get off here. So, how do you feel about us not drafting a quarterback?
I'm not surprised they didn't. Because they traded for Milton. He's gonna be the backup, and there wasn't any good quarterbacks for us in round one. Probably the draft this year was a bad quarterback class. So
Hmm.
honestly, this might sound crazy, but I'm kind of glad they didn't draft the quarterback this year. This
Hmm.
year's a lost year anyway. I think next year's the year to draft a quarterback.
Okay.
It's
You
going to
like
be a
what you see
great
there.
quarterback class next year.
Okay. So okay, you like what you see there. Okay then. So let me ask you this question. All depends on how the season goes. If we suck like ass this year, would you go first pick for Jackson quarterback for 26?
It's still too early to decide, but based off of right now, I would probably go either Garrett Nussmeier out of LSU or what's his name? I'm blanking on him.
Or the
The
Manning guy?
Drew Aller. No, not him. Drew Aller is the quarterback I don't want to draft next year because his deep ball sucks, and
Okay.
I mean he's durable, he can run, but like he never plays good in big games. He's kind of like Dak Prescott to me.
Who's that
So
again?
Drew Aller, quarterback out of Penn State.
Okay, yeah, I know you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, the guy I really want is Garrett Nussmeier right now, but the things can change obviously.
And who does he play for?
He plays for LSU.
Okay, you like him. Okay, all right. So how is his mechanics? Is it deep ball good? How do you?
He, he has a good deep ball, and he also has good
Mhm.
intermediate passing. Like, he's very accurate. The problem with him is he needs to cut down on the turnovers just a little bit. He gets a little too reckless. But if we can do that, then he'll be a good quarterback in the NFL.
Okay. So you mentioned earlier that Dak press that we might. My question is to you: is it last in the division? How do you feel about finishing the division this year? What do you say about that?
Um, honestly, I this since next year we're not gonna do anything, right? I kind of
Right.
hope that we get as low of a pick as we can, so that way we can have the pick of the litter, pick whoever we want at quarterback, and reset this thing because we all know Dak's not the guy. He's keeps
Hmm.
getting injured. He's not a good playoff quarterback, and it's good to start early to get a new quarterback, develop him early, sit behind Dak Prescott for 1 year, and then afterward he can take over. We can cut Dak
Yeah.
and we can move on.
So wait. Hold on. So you got Milton there. So is he? You don't give Milton a chance, or how do you feel about Milton?
We can give him a chance, but at the end of the day, we should still draft a quarterback to have competition.
Yeah.
I think Milton. I don't think he can be. I mean, I can't say anything right now because like we haven't seen him play. But just based off of what we know right now, I think he'll be a good backup. But we'll see. If he is the starter, then we don't have to draft a quarterback next year.
Right.
If he's really good. But if he's not that good or mediocre, then we're gonna have to get a quarterback.
Well, that's what I was trying to tell Censor. I said so. It all depends on his pre. So let me preseason play. Let me ask you this question. So Stephen Jones came out. We know that the Trey Lance thing was a debacle. I think he should still be there and play the game just like the Saints are playing. They got four quarterbacks there. Whoever wins the job, you know, David Carr's out of here. He retired. Whoever wins that job for the Saints will come in and then be the starting quarterback. And if it don't work throughout the season, whoever they start, they bring in who they think they can help win more ball games, and then let it play itself out. Now, with I thought if they still would have kept Lance, they would have let him and Milton battle it out behind Dak Prescott. So that's going to be the issue going forward. So is this with Milton? Is this an interview for Milton for 2020, 25, 26 season to see what he can do for the Cowboys? How do you feel about that?
Potentially, but I don't think they're gonna go off just based off preseason because let's be honest, Dak Prescott's probably gonna get hurt. Joe Milton is gonna slide in, and depending on how good he does, that'll decide if they're gonna keep him for the long haul or they're just gonna cut him and try to get another backup quarterback. But I have a
Right.
feeling though, because of his athleticism and his deep rocket arm, I think he'll stick around for a bit. I think he'll be a decent backup quarterback. The question is though, will he be able to replace Dak? We don't know yet. Most likely, though, I just don't think so. But hopefully, he can prove me wrong and he can push Dak Prescott out of here after next year because we're stuck with Prescott this year and then next year. So 2 years we're stuck with Prescott, and then we can move on.
Yeah. And the problem, I think I just called Prescott for so long, so many years. What was the problem? And I think that we missed out on some potential quarterback that could help us.
Oh, gee, I can't hear your mic. Your mic is.
Okay, can you hear me now? I was a little bit away.
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Okay, so us holding on to Dak Prescott all that long was an issue. Um, uh, so you gotta kind of like correct what you messed up when not bringing. Well, you didn't like Lance, and I love the Lance, but apparently it didn't work out. So now you gotta see what you got with Milton. So everybody, if and let me ask you this question: we got Dak Prescott for 2 more years. If he's looking horrible and if it's not working out, is are you going to hear the booing? Are you going to hear? I'm tired. So are they fed up with? Will they be fed up with Dak Prescott to get him out of here? I mean, how do you feel about it? Booing. I mean, how would you take it? How would you play it?
Me personally, what I would do with Prescott is because the cap hit is so debilitating. It is like $100 million cap hit if we cut him. That's gonna cripple the team. Even if he plays like absolute dog crap for the next 2 years, then that's fine because we'll be able to stack talent with high draft picks and get the new quarterback. And then by the time he's gone, we would have been able to develop those young pieces to where we can go back to maybe going back to the playoffs could be a possibility, even if he plays like crap. So no matter what Prescott does, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. If he plays like trash, we get a high draft pick. If he plays good, we go to the playoffs and we get bounced. Either way, we're not winning a Super Bowl. So that's how I feel about it. You still there?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I'm here. I'll do a quick little run upstairs real quick. So yeah, I agree with you. I've been fed up. I bought a lot of gear. My opinion is I bought a lot of gear over the years. I did buy his couple of his shirts. I have worn it. I have represented them. I have given them patience. I have, I did praise him for a little while. Then I finally woke up and I and I quit drinking the Kool-Aid. Um, I did so much for this young man. After I saw that Green Bay game, and he did have a 13-3 season, gave us a lot of wins, racked up a lot of stats. I praised him. I gave him love. Um, I did so much for him. I defended him. I'm not saying that. Like I said before on my streams, and I said, a lot of shows. I said he's an okay quarterback, but he's an okay slash bomb. But he's not the guy for the Dallas Cowboys. And everybody is painting this picture. We got Pickens, and we got this, and we got that. We got a lot of weapons, and everybody is still in love with him. I understand they got feelings. I understand that they like this guy. He thinks he can get you there, but in our reality, we spent too much time and effort into one man who has not had got you there. I mean, do you think that we as a fan base have gone overboard for one man who has done completely nothing but had led us astray? How do you feel about that?
Man, I'm not gonna speak for myself because I was out after him after that 49er game, the 19-12 game where he couldn't get us 20 points. But in general, this fan base has given him too many excuses. Like for so long, he's had all the help he needed. He's had a good defense. He's had a great running game. He's had receivers. He had tight end. He had a good O lineman. He even had a good kicker. Like there's no excuses for this guy. He is who he is.
Right.
The fan base, not us, but I'm saying like the majority of the fan base, they need to stop
Right.
making excuses for this guy.
Right.
And especially that they're still trying to help him out. They're still trying to help him out. They traded for George Pickens.
Right.
Like when are they gonna give up on him and realize that he's the problem, not everyone else?
And traded away the cream of a high draft pick for Pickens for 1 year. The most craziest shit that I ever
He's
seen
a
in my
1-year
life.
rental.
Right.
Unless you re-sign him somehow at the end of the season, which I don't think they're gonna do. I don't think they can afford it.
But what about what do they put a cap? What they call that? Franchise tag.
A franchise tag.
Yeah.
I don't think they're
Yeah.
gonna franchise tag him though, because he's gonna want big time money at the end of the year. I think he's just gonna go to a new team, and then we're gonna get a comp pick, probably a 4th round pick or a late 3rd at the absolute best.
Mm.
So I guess we could get our pick back that way, but like it's not worth it in my opinion. Trade just to have him for 1 year and then get a late round pick back. Like it's not very
Right.
smart.
So let me ask you this question: coming into this year, are you you just want to see? You are a wait and see guy. So will you be excited to watch the games, or you just want to see what Dak Prescott can do with this team? How do you feel?
Honestly, it's a wait or see thing. Like I'm not excited at all. It's gonna be a rough season.
And everybody says that we're ready. We're ready to NFC Championship game. It's all up to Dak Prescott. Do you feel? I feel that it's just a waste of time. I went on the show the other day, and I went on 5th quarter, and I put my stream out there earlier. I said you can't continue to sit back and run the same shotgun formation over and over if you ain't got no play action out of the shotgun or under the shotgun. If you can't stretch the play to the left, run that Mississippi boot, like that Mississippi bootleg play action, Mississippi toss sweep. If you can't fool the defense and you study back there, trying to run to the left with the running back, trying to run to the right with the running back, or trying to get yourself out of the pocket and move around, and then open the field up, because you got to get Pickens on the run. You got to get CeeDee Lamb on the run instead of a quarterback sitting on them and watching the route develop and putting that Prescott in harm's way. I mean, how you going to fool? How you going to score points? That's what I'm asking you. How do you score points with that Prescott? And that is the elephant in the room. How do you score points?
We weren't going to be able to score many points. This offense, even with all these new fancy toys that we got for him, like George Pickens, we got running backs, we got a new O-line, it doesn't matter because the quarterback has to execute at the end of the day. And with his injury history, his decline in play, and just the fact that he just doesn't have the intangibles anymore to do it. We're not going to be able to score many points. And the defenses, on the other hand, are not going to get many stops. That's why we all have said that they're not going to make the playoffs. We don't have the quarterback to run the offense correctly, to maximize all the players' strengths and to score points. And we don't have people on the defense to stop the run. And we have trash safety play, which means our corners are going to get exposed. It's not going to be a good year next year. We won't be able to score points, and we will not be able to stop the run.
So, what kind of, when you say execute the, what do you mean by that? Like, what do you mean by that? Yeah.
Here's what I mean by that.
Okay.
For example, George Pickens is a 50-50 ball possession receiver, right?
Okay.
So, Dak Prescott, as we all know, he never throws the 50-50 balls. They have to be wide open for him to even look their way and throw the ball. George Pickens is not going to be used effectively. That's what I mean that we're not maximizing our players' uses. It's because Dak Prescott, the way he is, he just does not. He just plays the way he plays. He will not target anybody unless they're wide open, which is not good because sometimes you're going to have to throw those 50-50 balls. Sometimes, not all the time, our receivers just going to be all over the field wide open. This is just not how it's going to work. And not to mention, with the running game, because he can't run anymore, because he's had leg surgery, he won't be able to fool anyone on the play action because he can't run. He's like a statue at this point. He's just gonna have to stand in the pocket, dink and dunk, throw interceptions. So that's why I said that we won't be able to maximize this offense to its full potential. It's because of the quarterback.
Exactly. So that's why all this hype about bringing over Pickens is just going to be a waste of time. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think it will. I still think he'll put up good numbers, but it won't be as good as it'll probably be like an 800-yard, 4-touchdown year. It won't be 1,000 yards, in my opinion, and 12 touchdowns like other people have been saying. Because there's Dak Prescott. Also in the red zone, too. You got to remember, in the red zone, Dak Prescott really struggled last year. He threw a lot of interceptions in the red zone.
Right.
And also with the fact that the tackle play is not going to be good, he's going to be on the ground a lot this year.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. So, Simpson said if he was getting paid $60 million, I'd go out there and throw interceptions and do all that. But I understand what he's saying. He want to get paid. So basically, throw the team under the bus, continue to get your money, and because you know that you suck. And is that what it's coming down to? How you feel about that, Cowboy?
He's just at this point, he's just there to collect a check for his kids. That's why he's even doing this, because I think he knows deep down that he's not gonna win a Super Bowl, even though he says it out loud and he gives the fans all this hype. He knows that it's over. He's just doing this to be able to pay for his kids' college and future and all that. That's why he's still playing. And also, he got a massive extension. So even if he plays like crap, most of it's guaranteed. That's the only reason why he's not retired. But I have a feeling he's not going to finish out the deal. It's a 4-year deal. Like I said, I think after 2 years, he's going to be out of there. Either get cut, because then we can cut him, or he'll retire.
And there's no hating on Dak Prescott. I like Dak. I said in my streams, I like him as an individual. I don't want to bring up the baggage because we all got baggage, but he has terrible baggage with a case that he caught back then. I don't want to go too much into that. He's an okay robot. He does things in the community. He does all this other stuff. He do throw players under the bus. There was some issues with Cooper and a couple other players. He is the choir boy. He is the spokesman and all that. But there's a point in time when the Cowboys got to say, okay, I got to draw my line like they did with To, draw my line in the middle. I got to depart. I got to depart the sea with you. And I do think that him still staying around and is hurting the team because you can't continue to look for your replacement if you got the still dealing with the same baggage from 10 years ago. Everybody's question is always, well, who are we going to draft in? And who are we going to have replaced? That is the most mind-boggling shit I ever heard of. How do you feel about them saying that dumb shit?
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. It's just these guys are so afraid to move on, even though every player in the NFL leaves. You don't think, like, after the Patriots lost Tom Brady, what did they do? They drafted Mac Jones. Didn't work out. So then what did they do? They drafted Drake May. Looks like so far it's working out. That's what teams do. They move
Right,
on and they keep trying until they hit on the quarterback. And
right,
because the quarterback is the most important position in football.
right,
That's the thing. We don't do that. We get
right,
lucky finding late round guys or undrafted guys like Romo and Dak. We haven't drafted a quarterback in the first round since Troy Aikman.
right.
So it's like
That's just not what
I
90,
hope we
90 first.
I hope we get a quarterback next year to draft so we can sit behind Dak for 1 year, then cut Dak, and then we
Mm,
can start him. But I don't know. I have to see it to believe it. And as for the fans, they're so that think that we're hating on him. We're not hating on him as a man. We're hating on his play on the field. Because
right,
you're right. He's a good guy. He does a lot of charity work. He's a good guy. He doesn't get in trouble. So he is a role model to that extent. But his play just it's not where we need it to be.
right. So
By the way,
basically,
I gotta go and bounce out of here. By the way,
okay, bro. Well, thanks for coming on, man. God bless you. Have a good weekend, okay?
you too, bro. Have a good weekend.
All right, bye bye. Well, thanks to all the big homies for coming on in and spend a little time with me. That was very thankful to you guys coming on in. We were chopping it up for about 3 hours. We're about to get to shut it on down. Yeah. So we went over some couple of some very good topics that we need to be at rest about, and we need to show that we is not hating on Dak Prescott. We are basically we're tired of it. And if you don't speak up, you don't speak your mind, your thoughts and what's been felt will never come. So um, our voice matters also, and if you continue to support, these bad habits and these issues that this team has come up with, is going to be a problem with the fans, and we're sick and tired of it. And ain't nothing wrong with being sick and tired of it. You're tired of the bullshit. You're tired of the Jones bullshit. You're tired of pay somebody who's not got the job done. And that's the reality of it. That's the reality of it. So, and if it don't get no better, might be a goddamn protest out here. Ain't nothing wrong with a little bit of protest to shake things up. Um, and let me see. I know I could be a little bit overwhelming sometimes. But this all I feel with I'm about to end the stream here, but this how I feel right here with uh about dealing with this team. Then that Prescott and what we got here. This is how I feel sometimes.
That's right.
This is
That's
how
what
I
all
feel.
for your mama. I paid off
I
your
mean,
ass out of respect for that woman. But if it wasn't for your mama, I broke your little ass down a long time ago. Jody? Little Jody? You know what I see
Joey.
when I look in your eyes? I see a scared little chocolate bitch. Now come on, that's what I see. If we was on lockdown, I'd make you get on your knees and fix it. 20 years, Jody. Let's see when you can be 20 years from now.
So point blank. Sometimes I feel like that's what I want to do. I'm gonna choke the shit out of the Joneses. I'm gonna choke the shit out of Dak Prescott and who comes along with it. It's been a long 10 years. Well, 9.5. It's been there 10 years with a young man who has done nothing for the team, but ate up a lot of money and got rich and have not done anything for this team. No NFC Championship game and no Super Bowl. You spend a lot of time selling tickets, like my homeboy Champ said, selling tickets, buying jerseys. Oh, Champ, gonna slide on there real quick before I shut it on down. How you doing, brother?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good. We had a powwow a little minute ago. We had a few homies on. How you doing today?
Doing all right. Getting ready to watch the WWE Backlash
What channel is on?
tonight. It's gonna be on I think Peacock.
Oh, Peacock. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So,
Huh?
before you get off, what's your take on that draft pick on that trade?
Oh,
Pickens.
Pickens?
Yeah.
Ah, fuck, man. I mean, it's hard to play it out, man. I think it was a wasted pick, man. That should have got a 5 or 6 for him. I mean, Pickens he's a pretty good athlete. But my take of it is, I mean, like there's too many problems on offense. I mean, you got Ferguson, you got Schoolmaker, you got Turpin, you got Tolbert if he makes the team, you got Pickens, you got Lamb, and then you say you want to run the ball, and how you gonna run your offense? I mean, are you gonna run the ball 60% of the time this year? And what does Pickens come in at to try to save that Prescott skill set? But what is he? How are you gonna get the ball to Pickens?
No one. I say what my take on it.
Yeah.
It's okay. I'm getting mixed message with the direction.
Okay.
Because for one, Schottenheimer, he trying to sell to the Cowboy fans that they are going to run more
Mm-hmm.
and they're going to try to keep Dak from having so much responsibility as far as the pass attempts. But
Right.
at the same time, you getting Pickens. And hopefully, because my thing is, with the Joneses, especially Jerry, he love for the wide receiver to run straight down the field, the long, that 50-50 ball.
Yeah.
But I can't. I mean, Dak has shown over time after time after time after time after time, he cannot throw that goddamn 50-50 ball. The hell, and all the way somebody gonna be wide open if the defender fall down. Cause Dak won't throw a wide receiver open.
Right.
Dak don't. You know what? I know a lot of times. I know people said that. I know Cowboys corner was saying that Dak footwork is bad, which it is.
Right.
But my thing is, it seemed like Dak don't do enough studying on that film.
Right.
He don't be studying that film and just look at some of the tendencies some of the team defense be doing. As a matter of fact, I mean, like this is 10th year, and this fool is still his little weakness is the 2 safety high.
Yeah.
2 safety high, he start pissing on himself because he's scared.
Right.
And so, yeah, like you said, by you saying that it's a waste to pick, yes, it's a waste to pick. You know why? We don't. That Prescott has shown that he cannot throw it to a wide receiver,
right,
without them being wide open,
and, yeah,
or
and then on top of that,
to make it, or to make it like playing. Can you remember 2 years ago when CeeDee Lamb had caught like 137 balls?
Yeah.
That's because if you saw the beginning of the year, Dak, Mike McCarthy was trying to bring in the West Coast offense playbook.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dak can't do it, but then when he simplified and had move CD around, that's when because he just said concentrate on one player. That's just like you playing Madden. No, if you playing Madden with you got a strong receiver, you gonna move that receiver around and target that receiver.
Yeah.
Target that receiver and a tight end. Really, that's what that was. That's a Madden move. And from there, Dak should have lean on it, trying to throw to Cooks or the running backs, but he don't. He target one receiver, and that receiver ain't open.
Yeah.
Then he panic, and then like you said, cause he with the offensive line, to me, I still say move Tyler Smith from left guard, left tackle, but that's not going to happen because I do not trust Tyler Guyton. I do not trust him. Him and Steele are the two biggest weakest links on the offensive line. So that's for me. You got to run the ball 60% of the time.
Yeah.
You got to hand off that ball, turn around, give the ball. That's what you need to be practicing.
And he practicing, and then this is what I said every time. Every time he run that play action on the center, and a man is running wide open down the field, he overthrows him.
Yes, he does.
Every time. And then how can you get paid that much amount of money and you can't hit that play? You know, and so let me ask. So I'm trying to. Are they going to throw the ball downfield more to shift the picking things? I'm confused.
Man, I don't. You know what? The only way you can throw the ball with that type of quarterback he is, the only way you can have to is throw the ball down the field, and like you say, the Mississippi play action bootleg.
That's right.
You need that bootleg play. I mean, and the only way you gonna have the bootleg, you got to run the ball consistently, and the Cowboys don't do that.
Right.
They don't do that. I know. And last night on Phil Quarter, I ain't gonna mention that person's name. Gonna try to call me out and everybody else out. You know who it was. Talking about Cowboys drafted a trench player, but we wasn't happy. Yeah, damn right, I wasn't happy. Again, I understand the pick.
Right.
I definitely understand the pick, but you gave up the best available player, which was Ty Warren. Ty Warren, the tight end.
Yeah.
So with that said, I hope Booker playing guard can work out. The coaching staff, I have high hopes for the offensive line coach because he the one that coached BB in college.
Okay.
Yes, on Kansas State. So, but other than that,
so who
I don't know, man.
Run behind Booker more, or you run behind Tyler more? I mean, you got two good guards right there.
No what? Fred, no, you gonna run behind. You gonna run behind. I don't know what. I think you run behind Booker more because if Booker can get his game together, that bulldog, pushing, I'll run behind him more. Him and BB.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I asked him. I said, "Who's going to be your starting running back?" Because you got Williams, you got the boy out of what's that?
I'm thinking. You know what? My opinion. I'm thinking it's the kid, the 7th round pick, because I know you got Williams. They know what they might start out with Williams.
Yeah.
But I don't think Williams is going. I think them young kids is going to end up being gonna have more playing time. Because
Yeah,
that
and
7th round pick, I forgot his name. Maya, what the hell his name? I forgot his name.
McFay.
That kid is. I mean, I was man. When you get a chance to go back and look at him,
Yeah,
yeah, man, that kid. He remind me of a poor man version of uh of Marion
no, I thought you
Barber.
was gonna say Adrian Peterson.
To me, he remind me a little bit of Marion Barber. Yeah, he's
Okay,
strong. Yeah, you
yeah,
play him. I mean, cause you gonna have to uh him and Blue.
yeah,
Both of them give them like between 10 to 15 carries a piece each game.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that way, Dak you keep Dak on a very tight leash.
yeah, and you keep the defense fresh.
Yes. Run that ball. Because we know Dak will throw 3 incompletes and the team punting.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
punting.
I'll force him in there to Ferguson to get an interception like he's been doing. Yeah,
Yes. All right, man. I want to give you I ain't know you were still on, but yeah, I had to get
yeah.
that off my chest a little bit.
I'm glad you came in, man. Thank God you came in. It's good to hear your voice.
All right, man. Yeah, have a good evening, man.
Okay, you too. Enjoy the rest of the night. I might chime in on that too. We talk about that tomorrow if you want to.
All right, man.
All right. Thanks for coming on. All right, that was Champ stepping on and getting a holler back. So thanks everybody for coming on. Finny JP, Finny old school, so we're gonna get on out of here. Thanks everybody for watching. We are just chiming in, and we are excited for training camp. We want to see what they're doing. We're ready for it to get here. We want to see. We want to see. Are your troops coming for real, or are they just lies that you just feeding us? So are you gonna run the ball? Are you gonna try to save Dak Prescott, Bomb Scott's, try to limit his mistakes? That's basically what it is. Can you limit Dak Prescott mistakes? Keep the ball out of his hands, and you want to play more snaps on offense than the defense. You want your defense to be rested. That's the problem. Your defense to be rested. So when it comes down to those stops you need, there they are. Give him the ball back and let him make his plays. If he can do it, he can do it. If he can't do it, it's time to move on. And the elephant in the room is the damn penalties. That's the fucking problem. The penalties, the false starts, the holding, the the all those little things that we have trouble with. And the offsides, just the wildest shit. You come out with I would say what 11 to 15 penalties a game. Can we get it down to 4 or 5 penalties every single game to show us a change? To show us this, Brian, that you are dedicated to discipline on this team. Discipline, discipline, discipline. You discipline. Everybody stay disciplined at work. If we're not disciplined at work, we're following the procedures we need to do to keep our jobs. Show us that you care, Brian. You show us that is going to be the biggest, most um. Everybody's going to keep their eye on it. Training camp, ain't nobody talking about it. But penalties, penalties, penalties. That's the only way you're going to. That's the only way you're going to be able to win ball games in this. Penalties and scoring points. Can you score points? These are the two things that Phoenix JP slash old school is going to say. Can you score points without pinning on the freaking kicker? And can you clean up the penalty game? Those are the two major things that the Cowboys have to hurdle. They have to jump over. Watch that, and I'm gonna put that in my streaming for earlier for later on. Penalties and scoring points. So those are the two things that I think that we need to clean up in order to win ball games and the only reason I'm keeping Brian here. I thought Mike McCarthy was gonna clean up the penalty game. No, none of that. And showing accountability. Diggs and all this old bullshit getting on the phone, running out here and talking shit to the sports reporters and doing this all crazy, wild as shit. They just got out of hand for Mike McCarthy. It was a shit show. It was a zoo. They was undisciplined. They was doing wild shit, doing what they wanted to. Can Scotty clean this bullshit up? Can he clean it up? So hopefully he do. I'm praying for him to try to clean it up. He has authority to do it. He's a jury. He's a judge and executor. I want to see Brian clean it up. I want to see a change. I want to see what Brian can do. I don't want him to be a pushover coach. I don't want him to be a piece of shit coach. Hold their ass accountable. And if it ain't working right, put their punk ass on the bench. All right, Dak Prescott is not working. It's not working. You fucking up this game. Put your ass on the bench. All right, we still got to pay you all this money. If it ain't working, put him on the bench. Hey, if we see some things, some changes like that with Dak Prescott and other players, then we'll see there's a change in Dallas. You know, we will see. So I'm out, and everybody have a wonderful weekend, and God bless you. Peace.
Like that's right. That's right. Call for your mama. I clean off your ass out of respect for that woman. But if it wasn't for your mama, I broke your little ass down a long time ago. Jody? Little Jody? You know what I see when I look in your eyes? I see a scared little chocolate bitch. So come on, that's what I see. If we was on lockdown, I'd make you get on your knees and fix it. 20 years, Jody. Let's see where you be 20 years from now. Nothing. You gonna start getting me some cigarettes, babe? Maybe get some beer. What are you doing? So sweet. I don't know what do you say to something like this? About 3 years ago, the city really took me inside, you know? And I want to thank you very much for that. I really do. And I've been thinking that I wasn't going to bring this up, but I might as well now. I would never do anything to hurt this sport that has been so really good to me. And I've been talking over with my wife, my manager. We think that that's really hard, but this, I feel like about. I think that maybe it's time that I should step down.